What's up? What's up? It's the Arthur Moats Experience with Deke. I'm Arthur Moats, and that's my main man, Deke.
What's good, dude?
Man, you know what today is. Come on now. This is, I believe, me and your favorite day. You know why? Because it's the holiday for the lovers out here. All the lovers in the building. Is there a heart in the house tonight? You know, I just feel so loved. I just feel so appreciated, Deke. I mean, I wish I would have brought some flowers in here for you, you know?
Nah.
It's Valentine's Day, man. You know, I don't want you to feel like because you're a guy, you're not allowed to have, flowers. I want to give you flowers, man, because, it's Valentine's Day. I want you to know that, you're cared about.
No, I don't need that. You're good.
Bro, don't be weird. It's all right. I'm here for you, man.
Nah, don't need that. We're good, man.
You want to hold hands during the show too, man?
No, I'm good.
Bro, why you being weird, bro? Stop being weird. Deke, I'm feeling sentimental today. I got a lot on my plate. You know what I mean?
You do. You do. I could tell when I came in.
You know what I'm saying?
You were questioning life. There's a lot going through your mind right now.
I was trying to set the mood. I had to have the smooth jams playing. Like, man, it just felt good in here. You know what I mean? Felt good. Got my Love Sick shirt on, man. Appreciate you. Some swag game. He said most shirt game is fire. I like anytime.
What's that from? Is that from something?
Bro, I saw they were on like IG, I think. And I was just looking. Yeah, every time.
I didn't know if it was some type of cartoon or something.
Nah, I was just on IG, man. I saw the little thing pop up. Anytime it's a holiday. Valentine's Day, New Year's, whatever. They always got different theme stuff popping. I was like, let's take a chance. And I actually liked it. Turned out good. The kids liked it as well, man, because, I had to volunteer today.
I'm surprised we're doing the show today.
Well, I thought about not doing it, but then I was like,
Are you and wifey doing something on Tuesday?
Well, no, see, funny thing, man, wife is anti-Valentine's Day.
Really?
Yes. She is like,
it's the corporation.
Yeah, she was like, do not celebrate me on a Valentine's Day. She says,
just one day because someone picked it out and said, this is the day for love. No.
Yep. She was like, yo, if you have to wait and this has to be the day for you to know to get me something, she was like, I'm pissed off with you anyway. So I was like, you know what? Fair enough. So I try to do stuff either super early before Valentine's or afterwards, but it cannot be it can't even be Valentine's week, bro, to keep it real. All right, because I've tried that before as well. I was like, oh, you know what? Valentine's Day is on a Tuesday. I'm gonna get her something on a Thursday. She's like, you're not slick. I got her something on a Sunday. Valentine's was on a Monday. You're not slick. I'm like, you know what? All right, forgive me. Yes. So she is like against that right now, man.
You got it tough for that. I mean, you're just trying to do the right thing. That's all.
It puts me in a bind because then I'm like, I feel guilty because publicly everybody else is like,
a week away. Is that too far away? Is that too soon?
You see the issue I'm in right now because I look at everybody else in their posts and I'm like, yeah, it's nice. And they're like, oh, what did your husband get you? I know he had to get you something nice. And she's like, nothing. And I love him for it. And I'm like, yeah, guys, I'm not a bad guy. I promise. I'm not. But
it's not one of those things where she just says it just to say it.
I tried that because me, I'm a thinker. Sometimes I overthink. So I was definitely out here like, oh man, listen, when we first got married, she might say this, but come on, baby. What lady doesn't want a gift on Valentine's Day or whatever day it is, right? Yeah. Sound good till I have my feelings hurt. I went out here, custom necklace. I'm like, oh yeah. I'm talking extra gaudy, big joint. I'm like, yeah, she gonna love this. She's like, what's going on here? Why did you get... Now, she was trying to be nice, but I could just tell, like, when you could just read somebody, like, they trying their hardest.
They ain't impressed.
They are not liking this. They are not feeling this right now. Took my little pride, put it in there, put a little box, dusted off. I was like, I'm just, yeah. But we're good now, though, man.
That's tough, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but I've definitely learned, man. I definitely have learned, though.
So we want to hit these super chats.
Yeah.
Not super chats, just the normal chats.
I say we definitely got to start because we can't start shows without check-ins, So we're going to have check-ins. We'll give a little bit of a show. Was it like an update, right?
Update. This is what's been on your mind.
The state of the podcast. Is that how you say it? The state of the podcast.
Yeah.
It's going to be an important conversation we're having today. So the only way we can have said conversation is with having a check-in. So get your check-in rolling and we will get this thing started for all the lovers out there. You want to let's hold hands. You want to hold hands?
I'm good.
You sure, bro?
Yeah, I promise. Yeah.
What if we slid our seats close because it's Valentine's Day? I want people to know like it's Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
You sure? And why didn't we have we gotta do better with our themes, okay? Our overlay is nice, but I need some red. I need some hearts. Where the hearts at in this thing? Can I get some heart eyes, please? Like, jeez.
I'm cold, man. Is there a Grinch for like Valentine's Day?
I don't know, but you are definitely making a case for it right now, man. Like, dude, where is the love theme?
I agree with what your wife said. I think it's some BS. It's corporation type of stuff, man.
The corporation, sure, but this isn't the corporation. We got to work.
Who came up with it? I would like to know the history. Who came up with it? I
like
guarantee you,
I
it was some
like
type of
Hardmark.
stimulus. They were trying to get something going economically in the city. I guarantee it.
Whoever is in control of like Valentine's cars or Valentine's dinners, restaurants, they had to come up with this thing. Like, you know what? This would be great for the economy. We'll make every guy feel guilty.
Yeah,
and they got to go buy stuff. That's what it is, man.
100%. I mean, everyone's going out to restaurants.
That's definitely it, man.
It's like tenfold of the number of ways people are paying.
I tried to get us a reservation tonight, and I couldn't even get one, bro. It was crazy. I was like, I just want a table at 2. It's just me and Deke, and they was like, who? And I was like, Deke. I was like, oh, you know, everyone say pronounce it French. You know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, man, it was weird, bro.
Because Thanksgiving actually has some real meaning behind it. Christmas,
the best meaning, but real meaning. Just, you know. It does have
We got Christmas celebrating Jesus' birth. We got like St. Nicholas. This goes back a while ways. Anyway, even
Patrick's Day.
Santa Claus is a made up story. This has been a while. Valentine's Day. I don't know who came up with this.
Yeah, I don't know either,
4th of
bro.
July. There's a little meaning behind that.
Now,
Memorial Day,
Samaj is
Veterans
saying
Day,
that Valentine's Day
Easter
counters the St. Valentine's massacre.
Oh.
So that could be it. If that's the case, well, then I feel a little guilty. That might make a lot more sense then.
What was that? Yeah.
It sounds like a lot of people. It
doesn't sound pleasant.
Yeah, people are getting their something. If they're massacres, when I think of massacre, I don't think of, kumbaya. I think of blood and guts and scary movies. So if that is the case, then yes, we are big fans of Valentine's Day.
It's the opposite.
Yes. But if that's not
that
the
was
case,
hateful.
Yes, we're full of love. A lot of love. Man, hold my hand, bro.
Oh, I'm good, dude.
You sure? We ain't got to interlock fingers. It could be like because this is the other thing, right? When you're holding a guy's hand, right? Like whether it's a men's group or
like a prayer.
Or, you know what I mean? A prayer. Like, do you interlock fingers or do you keep the hand closed?
No.
Okay.
No, you don't interlock fingers.
Huh.
Definitely not.
I was just checking.
That was something you did back in the day.
Wow. First of all, why you got to put that on me? I was just asking for a friend. You know what I mean? I didn't say, hey, I did this. I just simply said, like, is that frowned
Someone
upon?
else was doing it.
Because it's Valentine's Day. I'm feeling real lovely in the house tonight, man.
No, we can't do that. I'm good.
All right, man. It's all good, bro. It's all good, man. Yeah, so they're saying that whole St. Valentine's massacre, I guess it happened in Chicago or something like, or some type of.
It sounded like a Middle Ages massacre.
Yeah, dude. Holy cow, man. That does seem like pretty old, right?
St. Valentine. That sounds like probably a pope or something from the Middle Ages.
Oh, wow. Nice, the Pope.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe he was
somebody
a bishop or something
right?
at the time.
He's around the church somehow.
But maybe there was a dude named Valentine in Chicago. I don't know. That's something to look up. Maybe I'll look it up after the podcast.
I am curious about that though, man.
Because as I said, a bunch of these other holidays, there's some type of date, historical significance.
Yeah, and I'm seeing 1929. Samaj just put that in there for this St. Valentine's massacre. That seems pretty long ago. That's what, 100? Yeah.
Less than 100.
Almost 100 years though.
Oh, that seems really recent to me.
You think that is? Oh,
yeah.
Okay, I got you.
That seems like something they came up with in the 50s. I'm telling you, like that happened in 29, 50s, 60s. Let's boom up the economy. Let's pick a date. Okay, we'll use this as the reason.
Oh, this is a great day right here.
Yeah. No one's gonna.
Do we have a tragedy that took place on any day early in the year? Because we got Christmas, we got New Year's. We just need some anti-massacre. There we go.
If I'm completely wrong on that, I guess I will feel a little bit guilty if that was like the legit reason. But I'm telling you, it does seem a little bit too recent because America, things started booming in the 50s and 60s.
I always thought it was because of Hallmark. I said whoever came up with Hallmark and that whole card and the channel, all they play is this type of stuff. I just felt like this was them being creative.
Dude, we're getting some controversy here, though. Let's go. UW says Valentine's Day has its origin in Rome as a fertility feast.
Oh, well, let the lovers love, then.
Saint Valentine is the patron saint of love.
Huh.
So it is an actual saint.
Okay.
I need to do some research, actually.
I was about to say, is Saint Valentine and Cupid, are they related in any... You know what I mean? Because I thought Cupid was the lover boy.
We went from Valentine's Massacre 1929 to it being a Rome festival for love or fertility.
Yeah.
And then someone saying St. Valentine being the patron of love. I don't know. We got to look all this up.
There's a lot going on with this thing, man.
Exactly. Because Christmas does have double meanings.
True.
Jesus' birth and then also Santa Claus.
True. Very true.
So maybe this has a double meaning too.
Yeah.
Maybe this is deeper than what I thought.
I don't know, man. We're going to have to do some research on this, man. I like it, though. I like it. But you know what? Let's get to the check-ins because we do got to get our show rolling. we are strict. We are a show that operates with great parameters and detail. We don't do a lot of this funny, jokey stuff. We are straight to the point. All right. So with that being said, the check-in starts with Ramiro Rodriguez. He says, "What up, boys? Checking in from the 602, Phoenix, Arizona." Then after that, we got Irie V tuning in from the 209, Merced, Cali, to the 510, Oakland, Cali in the building. Shout out to the Oak Town. You know what it is. Town business all day, every day. Jamie Carlo says, yeah, the 321 Florida in the house. Let's get it. And then we also got Todd Sikowski, Tucson, Arizona. Excuse me, the 520. What you got on your end, partner?
Hernan Mercado tuning in from the 650 Bay Area.
Okay. Shout out to the Yay area.
Brandon Clark, 540 Roanoke, Virginia.
I like it.
Williamsburg, Virginia. This is Robert Martin, the 757.
Williamsburg, man. I ain't been there in a minute. That's where they do. Are you familiar with Williamsburg? So
no. Down
in Virginia, man, in Williamsburg, this is where they do the like colonial reenactments and stuff of like Jamestown, the like Christopher Columbus, all that type of stuff. They have like a whole like area where anybody from like my part of town, like, because we're probably like 45 to an hour away from there. Anybody from there, we always take field trips, part of like school, to go there to learn about the history of Virginia and the settlement and all that type of stuff. So it was always cool, man.
Okay.
But they do it like full-fledged, like reenactment, everybody dressed like that. Like, yeah.
That's the thing. Dude. We have some family friends that like really get into that.
Yeah. You show up and you're like, oh, well, we got to eat that. Oh, we got to dress. Oh, okay. Got you. All right. Yeah, a lot of muskets and gunpowder, stuff like that, man. Yeah.
Oh, I got to just say this real quick. Did you ever see the South Park, wherever they're doing a reenactment in the town of South Park, and then like Cartman, I think he takes over one of them and says, hey, you know what? We actually need to start. Yeah, he was like, oh, I want to take over the South because the South lost in the actual Civil War. No. He's like, no, in this reenactment, I want the South to win. And they actually start like shooting everyone and stuff and then taking over the whole America. He like dresses up as Robert E. Lee. It was crazy.
Yeah, I'm not going to
Reenactments go too far.
I do love how South Park pushes that needle, though.
Oh, it does, dude.
Because it's partly educational.
The new ones are good too, man. The new ones, they're coming in hot with these new seasons.
I feel like it's partly educational because you do get some of the facts, but then I like the fact that they kind of make you think outside the box in terms of how they'll switch it up. Like you said, what if the South actually did win? What if this did happen like this? This would look like. Like, it's kind of cool, man.
Oh, it's fun. Yeah, they all got drunk on like peppermint schnapps and just it was hilarious. It was like their superpower. As soon as they start drinking that, they could beat every city, every town, and just take over.
Man. That is crazy. I like it, though.
We got Raw Dallas, 614, Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, yeah. Let's get it.
South Side, baby. D'Angelo May, 216, Cleveland, Ohio. Jacob Malacia, always tuning in. 919, NC in the house, as always. AJ Martinez, Santa Fe, New Mexico, the 505. Now, this one's pretty good, too. NSMC 99, 412, Pittsburgh. That's how we pronounce it here.
That is how you pronounce it here, man.
Pittsburgh.
Absolutely, man. Pittsburgh with an X. All righty.
You got any more? I got a couple.
Oh, you got a couple? All right, yeah, go ahead.
EB, haha. 59, Mexico.
Who was that?
That's the best way to pronounce it.
One more time, you ready back?
EB, haha. 59.
All right, shout out to EB, haha.
DeMarco Huff says 913, Kansas City, enemy territory. So he's putting on for Steel City out there.
Absolutely. Hold us down, then. Hold us down, baby. Hold us down.
Drew Komorowski from the 406, Montana. First day back in the gym after ankle surgery. Thanks for keeping me company. Oh, yeah, no doubt. Man,
shout out to you, man. Glad the ankle is recovered, and hopefully, you get back in that gym and get the bulk season back. Go and get that back real big. Play it real big.
Yeah, I think we're good.
All right. Sounds good, man. So with that being said, man, before we start with these supers in this first topic, we got a show announcement, Deke. We have a daggone announcement for the people because we do like to operate with transparency. We do like to operate with, that veil being removed from, the consumer to the person that is, I guess, producing said content for the people to consume. However you want to say that, definitely came out botched, but all good. But what we did do, I think it was that a week ago, 2 weeks ago now?
2 at least.
2 weeks ago, yeah. So that I think 2 weeks ago, man, we did a virtual show on a Friday, and we said that, hey, we're going to be doing some more of that as the off season progresses. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this off season has begun to progress. You know why? Because the Super Bowl was officially yesterday, and that means that it is off season time now, okay?
Well, I tweeted this out. I actually feel like this is the new year now. Once football season ends, this is the new year. Because New Year's, you're like, okay, I want to do my New Year's resolutions. I feel like I want to clean things up a little bit. But then you still got playoff weekends.
Yes.
And you're going out bars, getting drunk a little bit.
Well, and it throws me off, too. And they're like, oh, it's the 2021 season. But I'm seeing 2022.
That's true, too.
I'm like,
exactly.
bro, what are we doing? You're making it weird for me. I don't like that.
It does. Sometimes when you look back, you're like, was that the 2016 season or the 2017 season it happened? Oh, it happened in the 2017 for the playoffs, but it was actually the 2016 season. I'm with you. I think that's what we should do.
It for no
in
reason.
America, let's make the New Year's the day after the Super Bowl.
Absolutely, man. That's a notion I could get behind right there. So, with that being said, since this is officially the new year,
and you could give the kids the day off of school then too. Everyone's been calling for it. Like everyone should get the day off of school.
How do you feel after Super Bowl? I got that. I felt I was dragging a little bit this morning.
Yeah. I slept in. I probably slept in until like 10 or something.
Shoot, I wish, man. I had to record. I was like, dog, I'm tired. I don't want to talk right now. I want to go sleep. But anywho, since it is the new year, we do got an announcement we got to make. So with that being said, man, the show is continuing to go forward. We ain't about to hit you with that one. Y'all know y'all was a little nervous. Show will be going forward, but we will, starting next week, be exclusively virtual for, 30 days. All right. So the way we're going to explain it is like this. Yours truly has to take a little trip. Got to make sure I keep myself in order and take care of my mentals. Ain't that what Marshawn Lynch said? Got to take care of your chicken, take care of your mentals. You know what I mean? Stack your paper, all that good stuff. Well, I'm making sure that, all things are in order since said transition from the NFL. So I will be going off to a 30-day mental wellness, physical rehabilitation, all-inclusive treatment facility. So, yes, indeed. So when you see us starting next week, have the virtual setup, just know that is why. But we will keep the shows live as best possible because obviously we'll have a little bit of time difference that we got to work through. But just giving you guys a heads up that, hey, man, if the show get a little wacky starting next week, that's why. But just 30 days, all right? But like I said, man, yours truly got to make sure, we can't just preach these things. I actually got to walk it as well, Deke. Because I think about when you talk about Brad Pitt body, and I'm a guy that likes to work out. Because I say, well, health is wealth, But I got to actually work out to believe that. We talk about education. I had to go back to school to believe that, to make it real. So talking about mental health, talking about being open and honest with our love, with our people that we care about, you know what I mean? That's why you got to go take these trips, and that's what we're going to be doing, or at least I'll be doing. So that's the announcement. All good, though. And no, I'm not headed to Buffalo, Thomas Riley. Stop it, all right? It's actually in California, okay? But either way, that is said announcement. So with that being said, man, think we are good for it. If you're good, I'm good. Look like the chat. Well, I know they probably
I'll be back here slugging it out in Madden.
Yeah, man. You hold it down on the home front.
I hope when you get back, you could look at me and you see a Super Bowl champion. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
Had a tough performance in the AFC Championship today.
Yeah. It was rough like that?
Yeah.
He said, ooh, yeah.
Had the ball, a minute left.
Oh, no.
I like to think I'm pretty clutch.
Oh, no.
Not that time.
Oh, no.
Ended it with a pick.
Ooh, that no bueno. Definitely don't need that.
There's some things about that specific play that really didn't add up.
Yeah.
Madden physics-wise and stuff, but I looked back on the tape. I think I could have done a little bit better pre-play, trying to make some reads. Mm-hmm. It's still on Madden, trust me.
Oh,
I got an ability on Plexico Burris. He should win man coverage every damn time. But it didn't happen on this particular play.
Dang.
But I threw it on the short side of the field, so it wasn't as open. So I was like, all right, maybe I should have made that read a little bit better.
But you are not clutch. That's what you're telling me, man?
Oh, no, I am. Trust me, I have some pretty big time. I'm about probably 60% more clutch than not, I would say. I got some big moments.
That. So you're not Big Ben. You're kind of like Kirk Cousins?
No.
60%?
I couldn't say he's 60. He's probably 20. Stafford's probably 60.
All right, Stafford then. We'll go Stafford then. All right. So with that being said, man, let's get this thing rolling. I see we got some supers already in here, but before we get to the supers, we got a new upper room member. All right.
Oh, yeah.
This is Bear Pod. Bear Pod, welcome to the upper room. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, man. Yo, I'm going to have to open this phone line up next show. I feel like I want to hit this phone with these upper room, because we got a couple new upper room members of lately, and we know they're the ones that we get to hear from. So I want to hear from them. I think next show we might have to do that for them.
You're saying live or have them call in before?
Maybe a little bit of both.
Okay.
You know,
it don't matter to me.
And, you know,
I'm always same.
I like the risque. I like to get a little woo. You know,
we got some Hernan Mercado here.
Oh,
I like this one.
Hernan
I was
Mercado.
gonna bring this one up actually a little bit later. Maybe we could talk about it later. But he says Steelers need to modernize their thinking in form of playing football, or else we're going to stay living in our past and never win a dang playoff game. That's what I was going to bring up.
Yeah.
Should the Steelers adopt the Rams mentality? F them picks.
Yeah, well, you know, I do like what the Rams have done. Since they've started this model, it has defied what the status quo is for NFL methods of building rosters and acquiring talent. Typically, it's always draft-centric. It's always building within, whereas the Rams, they've taken a different approach where they don't care about draft picks. They will give up all of their draft picks solely so that they can acquire whoever they want in free agency. They don't mind spending money. They don't mind trading for players. And at times in Pittsburgh, I mean, whenever we bring up some of these names, we're always laughed at. People like, oh, why would you even consider that? But then they're the main ones asking, well, hey, why don't we have that type of talent out there? Why don't we have those type of players at all these different positions? Well, with the different methods, they do have different strengths and weaknesses. But the one thing that I would say is this: now that we've seen the Rams actually win a Super Bowl from that, and actually have gone to 2 in the past, 4 years now, the method can work. That's a proven model now. They've shown that, yes, you can win by being aggressive in free agency, not necessarily going the old school route of through the draft, and you can get instant results in some cases, like I think what the Rams have experienced. But pros and cons to both sides, right? When you're talking about going through free agency, you have to hit on these picks, because if you don't, you essentially you send or you put money in on this player or whatever, and he doesn't produce. Now all that money is tied up with that guy. Whereas when you're drafting guys, if you miss on a draft pick, but he was a 3rd round pick, the compensation for that player as a 3rd round pick compared to a guy that you might have gotten in free agency or through trade, the risk reward factor is a little bit different there. Also, when you're talking about free agents versus draft picks, free agents, think Melvin Ingram, is hit or miss in terms of if they buy into the culture, if they stay bought into the culture, and you know, if they're going to go that route. Or you can get the kind where they are set in their ways and they are not going to go for everything that you tell them. You're going to have to explain a little bit more or just compromise in a sense. Whereas with draft picks, because typically they're younger, coming out of college, more naive, don't really have a leg to stand on in terms of speaking back to a coach. Those guys you can typically mold and have your hands on and imprint them a lot more, but that puts more of an onus on the position coaches, right? So if you have bad position coaches, the development from draft picks can, you know, take a hit. Whereas when you have higher end free agents, the position coaches don't necessarily matter as much. Now they still are important, but it's just a different level because you're getting a more proven commodity. So like I said, you can win either way. Just one is, you know, it's just different. It's kind of like the Moneyball approach, right? Compared to your regular just drafting stuff. It's like, no, you can be successful either way, but both of them have their challenges. But I'm cool with either way, man. Honestly, I like that. Like I said, the Rams, they just scream innovation to me, though. When you're watching them and how they've operated since McVay has gotten out there, they're innovative.
I wonder how long their window is going to be. That's something I wanted to even bring up a little bit later in the show.
Yeah.
But with bringing in guys, I think what's interesting with the Rams is a couple things. One is they made some bad deals with players.
They have.
Jared Goff, also Todd Gurley. I know those weren't free agents that they brought in or traded for.
But they've had bad deals.
But those are bad deals. And somehow they've been able to get up off of them and then on to the next year because now you could start using your picks maybe from 2 or 3 years down the line. It's just been a cycle of like, I don't care about the picks for the next 2 years. And then all of a sudden that year goes by. Okay, now we got a whole new open bank of picks that we can start using because, I don't know, if you start trading 2026 or 2027, those are like really irrelevant. You want stuff that's within probably a 2-year range, maybe even 3-year window. So they've just been operating on a year-to-year basis where all of a sudden, all right, new bank of picks are open. Let's start getting rid of them. And they bring in guys, and here's the other thing. When you bring up the Melvin Ingram scenario, they're bringing in guys that are automatically having a role. Yeah. So they're probably going to be happy. Whereas with us taking the risk on Ingram, we've done it a certain way here, bringing in that veteran. We're like, you could sit behind the guy that we're developing here in Highsmith. I don't know what your role's going to be. But if we went for Ingram, we went for the big name guys, and didn't have all these draft picks. Like, you are the guy. So I think that would affect the happiness in a good way.
Yeah, well, and
you saw it with the Chiefs.
But think about this. Case in point is this. It just goes back to the root issue, which is you have to commit to it.
Right.
Steelers didn't commit to that. And we said that going into last season that they kind of were half-hearted. We don't know if they wanted to be super aggressive or super conservative. They fell right in the middle, and you're going to get those results. Whereas when you talk about the Rams, when you talk about the Chiefs, we're not debating how aggressive they are willing to be in terms of free agency or even in, trading draft picks or just trading in general. Those teams are clearly aggressive. They don't toe that line. They go and get who they want.
And
right.
Ingram worked. Josh Gordon-Bell didn't work, but you saw the impact Ingram had for them this year. They didn't have a good pass rush.
Yeah, but it's like if all you do is say, hey, I only want to go one at a time and I have to hit every single one, that's not realistic. And if you operate like that, you're never going to get the next guy, that Melvin Ingram, like you talked about. Or even, when you think about just some of these different players between the Chiefs and Rams where they've just, this guy came in and he gave them a spark. He gave them a couple whatever this week or that week. Like, you can't get that without being aggressive like that. But that's the thing. Like, if you're going to do it, you have to fully commit to it. I'm not saying the Steelers can't do that, but remember history, because that's what everybody brings up every time we speak of these things. That's not the Steelers' way. I get it. I just hope that the Steelers' way will continue to be winning. And part of it has to be, you acquiring certain levels of talent. It's a lot easier to stick with the building through the draft method and being, a little bit more reserved when you have a surefire franchise quarterback. Right now, we don't have that. So that's part of the reason why you also got to get creative as well. Because when you think about Jared Goff alone wasn't enough for that team to win. But when they brought in more talent, he got them to a Super Bowl.
They got rid of him, too.
Right. Matthew Stafford by himself, probably not enough, but when you bring in Odell, when you bring in Von Miller, when you bring in pieces like that, it can make your team good enough to get over the hump. Because we said, well, Stafford, he had a really good season, but at times it was up and down. So with that, though, if you are aggressive and you're actually building your team like we're talking about and you commit to this way, you can find ways to win around that. You can find ways that, hey, if I know I got these guys and all I need them for is these big type games, find ways to get them there. Find ways to just, all right, get me out of this stadium just so I can get to that one. If I get to this big one, I know these guys will show up. And that's how I felt watching the Rams, man. Like, they were just getting all this talent. Like, we're going to need you for one of them games. And all of those dudes in some form or fashion did show up in the postseason and even more so in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm just wondering with this offseason we have upon us right now with all the cap space, we do have still a decent amount of picks.
Yeah.
Not only this year, but then next year, because we still have our top 3 this year. But then, we have the bank of picks, for the foreseeable future. Yeah. I wonder if this would be the year to do something like that.
Like I said,
you have to get. I think you start with the franchise quarterback, though.
Yeah, I'm all for innovation, man. Like, I would love to see
Watson's cleared, obviously, but then even Russ. I mean, you get 4 or 5 years right there. Stafford, they're about the same age. You see what happened.
Just imagine how drastically that changes the face of this franchise if you're aggressive right now, getting one of those people. Not, no, the Steelers don't do this. Don't think about the Steelers don't do this. No, because that's old and boring. Clearly, that way hasn't worked of lately, right? It's like, man, why can't you change it up? It doesn't hurt anything being aggressive right now because, let's be real, we know this team would have holes anyways if you weren't aggressive. If you did try to be conservative, you were going to have a 2 to 3 year window of having to rebuild it. It's like, man, be aggressive. Go get a quarterback. Because with the higher end quarterback right now, this team is still, they have pieces in place where you can still compete. You can still make this thing interesting. And then from there, you hit on a piece right here. You maybe get a middle tier guy for agency, or you trade for somebody that's a little bit more higher end. But either way, the status quo, I just don't feel like you want to keep doing that now when you don't have that quarterback anymore.
Yeah. You have to kind of bargain shop a little bit. Try to find the outliers, try to find the values. Like last year's contract for Emmanuel Sanders with the Bills. That's an amazing contract.
Absolutely, dude.
Like if we could hit on 1 or 2 of those every season with having like a Russ. Like if you have a Russ, people are going to want to come to your team. You even saw that with Seattle.
100%,
like,
bro.
AB, he could be a fit for them. This was a couple years ago.
Yeah, but seriously.
But that's the reason why they were talking about AB to Seattle, was because of Russ Wilson.
Absolutely.
That's why they tried signing Josh Gordon.
Absolutely.
I would like trying to do some of that stuff. Maybe Martavis comes back.
Shoot, that's even why Gronk even said, I'll go to Cincinnati to play with Burrow. It's like,
he said that.
Who said he wanted to play with Burrow? Yeah.
Really?
He did say that.
But no, that could be a huge difference.
Seriously, though. Like when you have that guy on your team in terms of the quarterback, the rest of the pieces, that is a lot more attractive. That is, shoot, I know me firsthand. Pittsburgh, Cleveland on the table. It's like, who's quarterback in Cleveland? I don't know right now. They got Ben. I think this makes even more sense over here. Like, that is real. Just speaking from experience. So yeah, I definitely. That's a good question right there, though, man. Yeah, shout out to Herman.
Absolutely,
shout out to Herman,
think
man.
about. Because we could go in two directions right now.
Yeah.
We could do the whole F the picks thing, trade for one of these quarterbacks, make some really nice free agent signings.
Yeah.
Or we don't address QB at all, build through the draft, and that could work.
And just think, whether you're talking restructures, we could get more money. Whether you're talking either,
Oh yeah, that too.
Because
Contracts,
right? I think of like that. I think of whether you're restructuring, releasing players. Like, there's still even more money that you could acquire and probably use a little bit more effectively than the way we've been doing it.
Yeah, because we're like 40 something right now. Maybe we could get that to like 60.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think of all of that, and I'm like, yo, why not this offseason? Because you have everything in place, and if it fails, you know what? You got plenty of stuff that
I wonder too. Like, even I know we would joke a little bit about, oh, do we get rid of Bush? Should we cut Bush?
Yeah.
But the thought of even trading him, that opens up about $8 million in cap space.
I know.
I know it wouldn't be the most flashy of pick we'd probably get back. It'd be higher than a third rounder for sure, probably fourth, fifth, or sixth. But if you wanted to go the whole free agency approach, aggressive, that would be an option. And I know there's some stuff about trading Claypool. I don't know if you necessarily do that, but you could get rid of even some of the guys through trades right now and then just start clean slate.
Like I said, if they want to do it, it's a proven method out there now. We've seen teams starting to fall into what the Rams are doing. Like I said, though, they've shown that when you do it the whole way and you actually commit to it, you can get this job done. You can win like that. I mean, shoot, Andrew Whitworth, he's another example. It's like, man, they got him from Cincinnati. It's like, dude, they didn't have to be aggressive picking him up at the time when they did, but you saw what he did since he's been out there. He's been their franchise left tackle, keeping them clean, and now he's a Super Bowl champ behind that. But it's like, imagine if when he became available, he's like, oh, no, Andrew Whitworth, no, man, we won't do that. Nah, man, nah, we're good on that. It's like, man, you never have that blocker. Now you either have to try to find them through the draft, and with the draft, like we say, even with these prices that we're saying are high end or perfect, they're never perfect. It's always a crapshoot. Even when they are, quote unquote, can't miss, it's always going to be growing pains. That's the part of the draft that makes people like me. That's why we always differ. When I'm like, I'm not a big, like, I love draft. Like, I much rather have proven players than high-end prospects, because a high-end prospect still has to develop. He still has to come in here and prove that he can do it. Whereas a guy that's already been doing it, I know what I'm getting. I don't have to hope he can take a second-year jump. I don't have to hope he can recover and get back to this form. It's like, no, this dude is already at this form. He's already proven, and that's why they typically cost more, but they're costing more because you don't have to have the guesswork anymore. And that's why I'm like, man, the Rams, they do that. We can do that, though, because I feel like our scouting department is still high end. Like, the type of talent that we've been able to find, like, why can't you take that and just be more aggressive with it? Why can't you do that same thing and be more aggressive with higher end players, not practice squad guy or middle roster guy, Keller Witherspoon type? Why not be aggressive, right? We talked about it. We picked up Witherspoon, but it's like, bro, we could have did the same thing more aggressive and got Gilmore. If we're picking,
why not do both? Because that's exactly what happened with Odell Beckham.
It is, though.
They already have a stacked receiving core with Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp, and then they got Higbee at tight end. Yeah, they didn't really need anyone at the time. Oh, well, we're just going to get Odell Beckham. Well, they had Deshaun Jackson even, too, but I think they got rid of him before.
But that was early on. But think about it. Deshaun Jackson was a high-end sign. He was like, you know what, this ain't work.
Deshaun Jackson.
It's all good.
No problem.
But it was like, yo, it ain't work. All right, cool. Let's get Odell, bring him in. And it's like, they don't care if they fail. They don't care if, oh, this doesn't hit. And that's the other part. I feel like in Pittsburgh, we have this like pride that we can't miss on a pick. We can't miss on a free agent signing. Otherwise, the end of the world. Oh, nope, now we definitely
can't
do this.
I like taking the chance. That Melvin Ingram signing was awesome to me. I don't care that it failed.
It's like, yo, at least try. I'd rather you go down swinging than not swinging at all. Like, don't hit me with this and just sit here and watch the clock run. Shoot the ball. If you miss it, so what? But you might hit. And that's the other part of it, you know? So that's kind of where I fall with that thing, man.
All right. Well, we got Gary Thornton.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, Deke and Moats. We need to go after Kyler Murray.
Yo, he's interesting right now, man. Are you seeing the reports about the Cardinals' rebuttal?
Yeah, they scrubbed everything outside of a couple Kyler Murray picks.
And then they said maturity and leadership issues.
What?
Yeah.
Who said this?
That's coming from the Cardinals camp in terms of what they're saying. Like,
they didn't officially tweet that out, obviously.
No, they didn't tweet it, but they're saying like that's part of.
These are beat reporters and stuff.
Yeah, but that's part of the in terms of the like what's going on with the contracts and stuff like that. In terms of why it's going to continue to be turmoil, is because the team feels like he has leadership and maturity issues. They're saying that he points the fingers at players when things are when they're having issues. Now, like I said, I'm not internal over there. I'm nowhere near boots on the ground like we are here in Pittsburgh.
You got the connects.
Not like that. If this is Buffalo, this is Pittsburgh, it's different. I don't be out there like that, bro. You know how my situation was out there, man. It was a need to know, But they definitely said that was, at least like I said, from the Cardinals camp. Now, is it a situation where the Cardinals are saying this to just save face and make the player look bad? Who knows? But I always feel like in anything, whenever you get both sides saying stuff, there's probably a little bit of truth on both sides of it. Just from personal experience, when I thought about the AB, Big Ben, and Coach T situation, I was like, you know what? All y'all said some crazy stuff. Some of it was a little embellished, but it was some truth from all y'all in there. Was some truth. So I do feel like, in a sense, that yeah, I'm sure Kyler has his reasons, but at the same time, I'm sure the Cardinals have their reasons, and it's probably going to lie in between somewhere. So is that enough, though, to make me feel hesitant about a Kyler Murray if we were to actually go for him and acquire him? No, I'm not second guessing it, because I think his talent.
No, I think this is the aggressive behavior that we talked about. I would kind of like to see. Go for a Kyler Murray, go for a Russell Wilson. Now, have you seen the screenshot floating around a little bit? Oh. I guess someone DM'd Kyler Murray. I don't know if this could be completely Photoshopped. I don't even care, though, because it was pretty cool. Someone DM'd Kyler, like, come to the Steel City and help us build back or something. And he said, I would love to. I'll have to show you.
Was it verified?
Dude, you could really Photoshop those so easily, though. You could really Photoshop those.
Well, it's more fun to believe it anyway, so I'll believe it.
I know.
I'll believe it. It's definitely more fun. But yeah, for me, man.
I'd be for it. Yeah.
And I'll also say this. You also have to remember, because I'm sure a lot of people, when I said the maturity and leadership things, they instantly got turned off with Kyler. No, I don't want any of that. You have to remember, high-end players like a Kyler Murray, like a Jalen Ramsey, for example, they don't become available without typically some type of something going on where they were at.
Jalen Ramsey is a good point. He's been completely fine with the Rams.
You know what I mean? But when he was in Jacksonville, you thought about it was the same type of stuff, right? Maturity. Oh, he's disgruntled. Oh, he wants to say this and that. And it's like, man, at the end of the day, guys just want to win and get paid, So it's like, yeah, they're going to be upset when they're losing. Yeah, they're going to be upset when they don't feel like they're getting paid to the level that they feel like they've earned. But when you do accommodate them and take care of them, 9 times out of 10, outside of, these outlier guys, typically, they fall in line and they, handle it the way they're supposed to. I mean, Richard Sherman's another guy, right? Richard Sherman, think about, big personality, big talker and all this other stuff. We didn't hear a ton of that when he was in San Fran. We didn't hear a ton of that even when he went down to Tampa. It's like, guys just want to be in situations where they feel like they can thrive, where they feel like they're appreciated and they feel like, they're respected. Yeah. And at times when you are a draft pick and you've built your way up from bottom to the face of a franchise or a perennial all-pro high-end guy or whatever, sometimes because you're homegrown, they still think of you as the younger player, the player that they had to groom, the player that they didn't really, respect to the same extent. And to, it's kind of like they forget to evolve with you as you're evolving. Whereas as soon as they leave and go outside the organization, case in point, Tom Brady, you think about how Brady talks about his situation in New England, where it's like, man, I still don't even feel like I'm the guy. I'm answering yes sir, no sir to Belichick like he's a dad figure. Then you go down to Tampa and it's like, no, we respect you. We think you're on that level. You're just as nice. But he's not homegrown there. So it's just a different part of that. So like I said, there's pros and cons to either way, man.
And especially you have Kingsbury, who like handpicked him.
Yeah.
Almost felt like an AAU type of move at the time.
Yeah, like I want to start my team and that's the guy I want. That's going to be my main player though.
Yeah, I wonder how much Kingsbury's thinking like, man, this is my offense tailored specifically for you. Yeah. Like I could get another dude just
like this.
You know what I mean? It's more of the system. I could see maybe some of that going on.
Right. Whereas then if a guy like Kyler were to come to us, we would never approach him on some, we created this offense. You just here to, you know what I mean? It's like, no, man. It's like, no, we
Canada,
appreciate what you
get
mean.
Your freaking act together.
Like seriously, like that's how it would be. Yeah. So like when I think of that, I'm like, no, that is a part of it. So I'm really just saying it to say, don't get turned off by these reports coming from the Cardinals about maturity or leadership, because like I said, when it's homegrown, sometimes, man, the organization, they just don't always evolve with you.
Now, what I will say, they made some really nice personnel moves for them this year.
I would agree,
for the
they
Cardinals.
definitely did, offensively and defensively too.
DeAndre Hopkins, that was 2 years ago, but still, he got hurt. You can't really account for that. Bringing in James Conner was a huge move, and then obviously signing J.J. Watt. Like they're trying.
No, you forgot the biggest move that I thought was them trading for Zach Ertz middle of the season.
Oh yeah,
before Hopkins went down, that was supposed to be the move to take him over the top, because that was their only real weakness offensively, was the tight end group. It just so happened that when Zach Ertz came a week or two later, that's when Hopkins went down. But you could see even they were trying to follow the Rams method. It's funny, when you think about them, especially being in the same division as well, it's like, man, all right. So even they think that this method can work in terms of being aggressive. Yeah.
Was it Rondale Moore, right?
Absolutely, man.
And he was supposed to be good. Now, I think, based on everything we're talking about right here, it's got to lean more money and just maybe feeling underappreciated because the personnel moves, they are really trying to win with him.
They're committed to him. Yeah.
Exactly. Najee Loudpack.
Love the name, by the way.
Yo, Moats, I'm rocking the white and black dunks today after you and your daughter's video. I picked them up the same day.
Yo,
also got the black CLB socks.
Let's go. Certified lover boy. I like it.
What are those?
That's the Drake from.
What do the socks look like? Do they have
think it might be
cover?
Like
it's all the emojis.
Yeah, probably. But no, man. Shout out to you for the dunks too, man. Funny thing, we were actually me and my daughter. Actually, the whole fam, we all had the dunks on initially this morning when we got dressed. Because my daughter, she went to Twin. She was like, Dad, white shirt, blue jeans with a rip, stole the dunks on. So I had that fit. She didn't know that we had got her and all the children SB Blazers. That's what I have on right now. The all white with the black Nike check on them. So when they woke up and saw that, they all decided to change their shoes this morning. So I had to change my shoes. Otherwise, I've been right there with you, Najee Loudpack. So, nah, man, salute you, though, man. I appreciate that as well, man. And, we're going to keep the content rolling with them vids, man.
Yeah,
it's kind of fun rocking with my daughter, man. It's not often, I could talk her into hanging out with the old guy,
I like those black and white dunks. I was thinking about getting them myself.
They're so clean, bro. They are so clean.
They're really, they go with anything,
heck, bro. Yeah.
They literally go with anything.
Like, I just love that look. That style is clean, man.
Let's go, UW. The absolute roasting of Eli burnt toast apple last night was beautiful and well deserved. Why does everyone hate this guy?
I don't know. It started with was it McCall Hardman? He, I guess, tweeted something about him, but I'm like, I always just find it weird when
was he getting burnt so bad? Either Mike Hilton got burned worse than him. He just let up the
but to me
the fade ball at the end.
But to me, the Mike Hilton, they tried to say he got toast. I'm like, bro, that was
good
great
coverage.
defense
He's just
on
too
Odell.
small.
Like, yeah. Like, but that's one of those things I always say, like, if a person that's not in that game is trying to talk bad about a person that just beat you going into that game, you look more like a hater. And that's kind of like how I looked at the Chiefs dude. And then, in terms of fans, fans are going to be
Saints
fans.
people, I think Michael Thomas is ripping on. A lot of there's bad blood between him and the Saints.
Eli used to play with the Saints. Right. That's why. So, yeah.
I don't know what happened down there.
I don't either. But you know how that goes, man. Like I said, man, anytime somebody's bad mouthing or talking smack about a guy playing at the highest level in terms of the Super Bowl, it just, to me, like I said, I don't care about what fans say. Fans are going to be fans. I don't expect fans to ever be rational because they're fans. They're, so they can pal and do what they want. But when it's players, I'm just like, bro, you look weak, man. Like, you just mastered with this dude a week ago. You had every chance to do all this burning and all this toe stuff that you was talking about with this man. And it's like, where was all that energy at? I didn't see McCall Hardman last week go for, or 2 weeks ago, have, 10 catches, 250 in the air, 3 tutties. I ain't see that. So I don't really care about that man having that opinion like that on Eli. Eli was playing the Super Bowl. Yo, you get beat. It happens. You're playing against the best of the best. Like, Jalen Ramsey is another guy. People going at him.
Oh,
I'm
he was getting torched.
Yeah, but at the same time.
The one was a bad no call, though, I think.
Yeah, but for me, at the same time, I'm just like, man, I don't fault that. If this dude going out there, he laying it on the line for the ring. It's plenty of people that when that ring on that line and them games get like that, them lights get big, they skirts start to show a little bit. So I'm like, man, I got the ultimate respect for them dudes, man. You gonna get beat. That's a part of the game, baby.
Well, with his assignment too. Whenever you're one-on-one
matching
with
up with the top dudes, yeah.
That might happen.
Absolutely.
But him doing that helps open up the rest of the defense for them to do other things.
You can't be scared to get beat. That's kind of like a big man in basketball getting afraid to get dunked on. It's like, bro, if you're afraid to get dunked on, you can't be a rim protector here. It's gonna happen. You better go out there and ball. I don't care if a dude get beat, man. I don't care if a guy get blocked, get caught on, whatever. It's like, bro, show up next play. Because you going to make a play. Eli has some plays. Mike Hilton has some plays. But it's like, yo, that's a part of the game. It's the Super Bowl for a reason. Bad players typically don't make it to the Super Bowl. Typically, Typically, it's like, yo.
No, he's had a good player.
Absolutely. Bro, he saw what he did to us. And I was pissed when we played him.
He was a good reclamation project for them.
Absolutely. They said they call it a second chance you. Did you hear when they said that?
The Bengals.
Yeah.
When they showed it with like Mike Hilton and all the guys that they signed free agency.
Eli Apple, all these dudes where it's like
Ogunjobi.
Yeah, it was like, yo, they
had a really nice blend for their roster of some of the veteran guys that we were just talking about. Oh man, you should sign some free agent guys. And also some of the guys that they drafted too. Yeah. They had a really nice mix right there. Mm-hmm. Chris Carlisle, just giving us some support there.
Man, salute you, bro.
Did you see any of those Eli Apple memes though?
I have.
The best one's the burnt toast at the press
conference. It was like just the number. My man sent me that. I was like, oh, wow, that's what you on today?
Solo one. I feel like we should always go free agency for cornerbacks because we are horrible at drafting that talent. We are never in position to get a top-tier cornerback. Yeah, he's right, because the top guys, like Jalen Ramsey, he went 5. Joe Hayden, way back in the day, he went like
top 5.
Was he 7th pick?
Yeah,
I can't remember.
7 tops, yeah.
But you're right. The guys that usually are big-time difference makers, I think Darrelle Revis went in the top 15. We haven't drafted at that spot forever, since Ben. We haven't drafted 11. Devin Bush, we traded up to 10. And so outside of us trading up for someone, we're not really in that position to get a top corner like that. You have to get lucky drafting someone like Richard Sherman was what, a 3rd or 4th round pick and developed into that.
No, Richard Sherman was a 5th round pick because he was a converted receiver.
But even with that, we're not the best at developing corners.
Yeah.
Who's been the biggest success right now? Maybe Keenan Lewis as of late?
No, it was Cam Sutton. We said that. He was the only one that's like really
as of late
that we drafted,
Well, Keenan Lewis was pretty good, I think. He got that really nice second contract.
Saying. Since Keenan, the most recent has been Cam Sutton.
How far ago? Exactly.
Cam Sutton. And that was what, 17?
I'm kind of with him. I mean, we got Witherspoon from outside.
We got Joe Hayden from outside. We got Minka Fitzpatrick from outside. We got Mike Hilton from outside. It's like all our top
J.C.
guys
Jackson, I think he
have been
from
outside, man. Yeah.
Let's go UW. Until the Rams turn into a dynasty, I would prefer draft method. Yeah, this is the counterpoint to it.
Okay.
It's proven to build long-term success as opposed to short-term of the Rams. Unfortunately, one of the worst owners in the league won.
I guess my rebuttal to that is this. I get the whole dynasty narrative, but realistically, when we're talking dynasty, what are the parameters on that? Because when we say Steelers dynasty, we're including 6 rings, but we're not including 6 rings from this decade, past 20 years. When I think of like dynasty, I think of to an extent what Brady and them did in terms of winning that many Super Bowls in such a short time. I think what Alabama's done, but outside of that, I don't really think it's been a lot of dynasties that have even been built of recently just solely through the draft.
Chiefs only have one.
Yeah. And it's like, even though the Chiefs they've probably been close to having that, but even with them, you've seen that their method, we were talking about it. They're not just draft only. We're going out there and getting aggressive. Free agency, trade. Like, that's my only thing with that. It's like, I get this notion, but with the Steelers, for example, we call us a dynasty, but it's like, what's the parameter on it? Like, how far back are we allowed to extend this?
Our kind of like pseudo dynasty was 05 to 10. Made 3 Super Bowls, won 2 of them. Like, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Now, over this past year,
but you see what I'm saying? Like,
I would trade. Yeah. I would trade. See what the Rams did. This is the question: would you trade 5 years of mediocrity for 1 Super Bowl? Because their window could close like really soon with some of these guys.
And that is the question to ask. Because right now with the Rams,
I probably would, because it's a guaranteed Super Bowl.
Absolutely, I'm not against it.
Now, what about in 10 years? That's probably maybe the line you start questioning.
But what's the difference between 10 years of, oh, you were close divisional round, oh, you were close wild card round, oh, you missed the playoffs?
We could say that for the Steelers the past 10 years.
It's like, man, is that enough? Because if it is, then why do we hear people talk about firing coaches in terms of no Super Bowl appearances, no Super Bowl wins? Why do we put such a premium on AFC conference, AFC championship game appearances, stuff like that? Like, if that is what the, how we're gauging it, then sure. But I don't think that that's been the case here in Pittsburgh. In fact, we're not okay with, building through the draft, but never getting to the confetti game over a 10-year period. So if that's the case, maybe you switch it up. Maybe you don't continue on with the status quo, because the status quo, based on what we feel our expectations are, has been failing.
Yeah, the big thing's the quarterback. Yeah. That's the big thing, because if they have Jared Goff this year, they're not winning. And you could pull that off by having a quarterback.
We say that, though, but Jared Goff has already taken them to a Super Bowl. They just lost to Tom Brady. It's no fault in losing to Tom Brady. But Jared Goff is taking a team to a Super Bowl. Think about that, bro.
This is all going to be interesting. I've said this multiple times, because we're going to start seeing a bunch of new dudes pop up win Super Bowls. And what the prototype or the franchise quarterback, what that means might change a little bit.
We say it's going to be a bunch of new teams popping up winning Super Bowls, but let's be real. There is no guarantee on that. We can still see.
I know. That's why we're going to have to see how it plays out.
That's what I'm saying.
If all of a sudden, so Stafford's a new guy winning a Super Bowl. If all of a sudden next year we see, who would be a name? Who would be a rent? Like if the Patriots win with like Mac Jones or something.
Right. Or even if Burrow and the Bengals were to win one. It's like,
I feel like those are guys, though, already. Maybe Mac Jones isn't really on that level yet. That's what I'm trying to bring up, Mac Jones.
Like
I can't say Kirk Cousins. I can't even fathom
Tannehill.
Yeah, if Tannehill wins one. And, yeah, because he'll be going up. Tom Brady's retired as of right now if he doesn't come back. You could see the Titans going up against, I don't know, what some random team in the NFC, right? The Packers. And if Tannehill wins, you're just like, oh, wow.
He won
because
one,
it has been so much Brady over the past 20 years.
Well, it's been usual suspects. Brady, Manning, Rodgers, Ben. Like, typically that's what it was for a while.
Outside of the two outliers, Flacco
that's what it was for a while, man.
One of the greatest postseason runs ever, which was just out of this world. And then Nick Foles just kind of getting lucky. It's been those guys. You're right. So this is like a whole new standard here. I wonder with the new offenses, the new styles, can you win with a dude that's maybe fringe top 10?
Yeah.
But usually once they win, like right now, I feel like Stafford's top 5. Once you win, you're in that top 5, especially if you have the numbers throughout the regular season.
Yeah, you definitely
that's
become
the problem
a franchise
too. All of a sudden, your
reputation
reputation changes.
Yeah, because now we can't say, oh, Stafford he hasn't done any big wins.
No, now they're talking about him Hall of Fame right now.
And he's legit. He did have clutch drives. And
throughout
the postseason, dude, that drive, I think of the drive he had against the Bucks to even get him there. It's like, bro, he's done. He's had his moments, his signature moments, to definitely put him in that category. But like you said,
he could be ice cold.
But like we said, though, we still feel like he's bottom tier when we're comparing him to the guys that we view already in that category.
I think if he keeps it up, now everyone's talking about him Hall of Fame. I wanted to do some research on that. I mean, you look at his numbers. He's got to keep this up for the next like 3 or 4 years. But I don't see why he can if he stays in this situation.
Well, yeah, because he has the perfect situation. But McVay is another guy.
The thing with Stafford, though, is he's going to need a new contract coming up, too.
But they said that they want to get him done, though. They do say they want to.
But that maybe takes away from a weapon or two.
But it depends,
maybe even a defender.
Because, well, obviously, we'll talk about it when we get into this game. But Aaron Donald, I mean... Him, McVay, those are the ones who had the retirement rumors pop up, and then they didn't deny him when they were even asked about him after the game. Most of the time, if I say, hey, Deke, you about to quit today? You quitting after the show? You like, are you quitting after the show, Deke?
No.
See the difference right there? You ain't even with the, actually, you know, I'm trying to enjoy this show right now. I'm just going to focus on this show. And then
they're thinking about it.
You know what I mean?
Either way, they're thinking about it.
The fact that they're thinking about it is like, so you got to acknowledge it.
Sounds like Brady's last article that we saw after they lost to the Rams.
So when I think of that, I'm like, yeah, you know.
I still think Brady's coming back, though. There's rumors about him going over to the 49ers.
We will see, man. We will see.
Let's go UW.
Oh, but before we get to Let's Go UW, I have been seeing the people in the chat. They've been saying...
Did I read this already? I just read that one already.
But the people in the chat, have been bringing up the fact that, you know, viewership compared to likes, we not where we need to be. So the people have been saying this. So I'm gonna go ahead and remind everybody, make sure you're liking the video. Make sure you're subscribed if you have not subscribed to the channel, and make sure you have that little notification bell turned on so that way you get all this content when it is dropping, baby.
Okay, Let's Go UW says, also, unlike LA, the Steelers have an actual fan base that cares. That's true.
Yeah.
I heard it was like 70% Bengals fans in there.
That's not about right.
That's crazy.
Well, LA's it's transplants. Like, think about
There's probably about 20% of people in there that are just celebrities.
Right. I'm like, LeBron, this celebrity, but he's not from out there. I saw Victor Cruz out there. He's not from out there. They going AB. He's not from out there.
Bunch
Kanye,
of media people.
It's like famous
was
people.
AB sitting with Kanye?
Yeah.
I saw Kanye vibing to the halftime.
Yeah, they were.
Didn't they buy Dondas?
Yeah.
AB's the
he's the
CEO.
President now, man. He's the president of Donda Sports, man. In a Fashion Nova men model. Every time I get my little Fashion Nova emails, it's always AB. I'm like, AB, you for being dang near the greatest receiver ever, and now you are here in Fashion Nova model. Lord, this is crazy.
Farron Bradford says, unless Kyler's mad about the O-line, he has nothing to be mad about. And we talked about that. Yeah, they brought in a bunch of pieces for him. They're moving heaven and earth to accommodate him.
Yeah.
But maybe it's the relationship with Kingsbury. Maybe it's the relationship with management where they're trying to pay him 30. He wants 38, 40. Doesn't feel appreciated. The organization feels like they could replace him.
I like you said 38, 40. If I'm Kyle, I want 40 plus.
Probably, yeah. If Deshaun's
I'm
getting
accounting for the market as well. I got the rookie of the year. Yeah, heck yeah.
Probably, yeah. I wouldn't want to pay that, but you're right if you're him.
Yeah.
Google East. Eli Apple was talking crazy about the Titans, Ravens, Chiefs on Twitter for weeks. Oh, okay. He did it to himself, maybe.
Well, this is my thing. He still was in the Super Bowl. So regardless of what people got to say about him or what his actions were, he was still in the Super Bowl. That's all. What Chris Brown say? Man, how you hating from outside the club? You can't even get in. That's all I think of when I think of somebody not in the game talking bad about somebody that's actually in the game. I know that's how I operated in my career as well. It's like, man,
you're right. It's salty. It was like that Claypool comment last year against the Browns.
Oh, yeah,
it's like,
man,
we just lost. Just don't say anything.
Yeah, y'all got clapped. It's like, you realize y'all got beat a week ago, right? I don't see you won up to him when it was like, dude, you were watching him.
Team do it.
Yeah, you were watching him. You look like a real hater. You're watching it with the power. Come on, man. Please, Eli. Come on, Eli, please. Hey, babe, can you pass me down over there on the couch? Oh, you on the couch, though? Gotcha. Okay, yeah. He's out there. He got the Super Bowl logo on his. That's all I'm saying, man. Yeah. I'm sorry,
I'm
bro.
with you on it. I think it was a little bit too far. The memes are funny, but.
I'm with it, though, bro. Like I said, I'm not against it, man. Have what you want, but that's just my perspective on it. But, anywho, we haven't talked about the game, so let's talk about the game for a little bit, though, man.
Okay.
Thought it was a good game as a whole.
It was.
I like the storylines in it too, man. I thought it was good back and forth. I thought the stars actually showed up the way I wanted them to show up too, though. It was good to see Odell early on having his moments. It sucked to see him go down, man. It hurt me because I'm like, dude, this dude, man, I feel like he's one of the dudes can't catch a break right now. First, they're saying you
got the ring though.
True, and you can see the emotion come out, man. But it was one of those things where it's like, dang, going. First they're saying, it's a character thing. Then they saying you even got the talent. You come to LA, it's a great situation. You're balling out. You're having a heck of a Super Bowl as well. Think about it. The touchdown early on, he was looking like he was about to go off.
Oh yeah. And
then it's like, man, to go down, know it's going to be something dealing with surgery with just the non-contact element of it. It's just like, dang, gone. But as a whole, man, I just enjoyed it because you got a couple of things. Number one, you have Cooper Kupp topping off one of the greatest seasons from a wide receiver ever.
I think it has to be greatest now.
I think it's there.
MVP.
And it also highlighted to me a flaw with the whole regular season MVP stuff. Just the simple fact of, like, dude, what he's done this season, the fact that he still was just, one vote received for MVP. When we're talking about one of the guys who had the regular season, not even postseason, because postseason was crazy in its own right, but regular season, what he did, the fact that it's like, bro, how are, he's just not getting a single, 5 votes, 7 votes. I'm like, that's the part for me where I just hate the fact that, hey, if you wanted to be a quarterback award, just call it the best quarterback award, not the most valuable player. Because to me, how does he only get 1 vote based on the season that he had?
I think that's it just always comes down to, and I think it's the epitome within the game.
Yeah.
If Stafford ain't in there, you ain't doing anything.
I get that.
And that's even the same for the regular season. If Stafford ain't your quarterback, you
also saw if Cooper's not out there, 18 wasn't doing anything.
Oh, he was terrible.
Exactly. So that's my thing. Why do we put the premium on the quarterback when the premium is clearly on both of those guys?
Oh, it is. It's chicken or the egg, obviously. Yeah. But I do think if Kupp went down randomly, I think you still have more hope with Stafford at the quarterback,
18, bro,
as opposed to having the backup QB coming in. Though I don't
get
think
it, but I wonder if the backup QB comes in, but you still have all your weapons outside. You got Odell, you got Woods, you got Kupp. I think that's different. Or if it's just Odell and Kupp, I think that's different. Whereas it's like, man, I don't think that Stafford would go out there and elevate those guys if he didn't have Odell and he didn't have Cooper Kupp. And it was some random Joe Blow out there.
That's a good scenario.
Yeah.
I think I'd take my chances with Stafford.
I'd take my chances with Kupp, bro. Yeah.
All of a sudden there, you just need one of the randos to step up, though. That's no guarantee. But at least at that point, they don't know who you're throwing to.
Fair enough.
Who you're going to try to throw to.
Fair enough.
But there's no guarantees.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw 18 drop wide open passes.
And you saw what Kupp did with them knowing that he was going to get guarded. He was like, yo, I'm just going to cook. Like, you can't guard me. So that's kind of like my only issue with that. But, I mean, when you talk about what Cooper Kupp did in that game, man, the 4th and 2 jet sweep. Shout out to the Jets. Was that the theme of this season, bro? Holy cow. 4th and 2, they called Jets.
I said, bro,
that was the gutsiest call up. Like, to me, when I saw it, I'm like, oh, Lord, that's the one you went with, McVay? You.
At least you got it in Kupp's hand.
Bro, your cojones is legit, bro, because I would not call that. I personally would not. Not game on the line. Nah, I'm good on that one. But to see him do that, and then like I said, man, the first game-winning touchdown that he had, I thought he got knocked out when Von Bell hit him in the end zone.
Oh, yeah.
But then he comes back and hits the other one a couple plays later. I'm like, bro, that's filthy. But that's storylines. Then to see AD, Aaron Donald, completely just like, you know what? Game's over. I got this. And it was cool because I was thinking of you.
I thought he almost completed that, though, at the end.
He had a chance.
Spinning around.
He had a chance. Well, and it was funny, too, when they showed the the end zone, the sideline copy. Jamar Chase is wide open too, bro. He beats Jalen Ramsey. Jalen was falling, and it's like if he has a split second more Burrow, it's game winning touchdown pass, bomb. Yeah, it's like they have the frozen picture and everything. You're like, yo, this is crazy. But because Donald won, and the thing, but that I'm saying that is this though, it's like I like that because it also reiterated the fact that yo, you have to have pass rush, but at the same time, you have to have protection. No different. We talked about special teams, right? And it's always like we always like to highlight one particular thing and think as long as you have that, you can win. It's like, no, you still have to have these pieces. And I just like the fact that this game, it really highlighted that. You got a chance to see, man, what Von Miller, Aaron Donald, and Leonard Floyd, in a sense, could do to counteract the high-end talent that the Bengals had at receiver. Like, that to me, I was like, I like those type of things right there, man.
Oh, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It felt like a throwback to me.
It did, man.
Defenses now it got a little bit boring end of third all the way through the fourth until like the last drive. But I still like that because sometimes the offenses just dominate too much. It gets a little bit too wide open. This style of how the game went reminded me of, 2010s Steeler football, early 2010s or back to like 05 to 08 even when we won those Super Bowls. Yeah. Bengals made some really big plays.
They did,
Outside
man.
of that, I mean, the Rams were kind of dominating them from their defensive standpoint to their offense. And then things were just gritty. Like that's what I liked about the game a little bit.
Yeah, see, that's why I like.
You got enough scoring. You got enough scoring. You got enough back and forth. But then you got the defenses getting involved. And then ultimately it came down to, all right, who's going to step up? Who's going to like overcome all this? And Stafford did. Big credit to him. Yeah,
without a doubt, man. Without a doubt. I definitely like that. And I would also say this, man. Another thing that I was impressed with was the Bengals. In a weird way, just in the sense of like, you knew they were going to have to overcome some adversity at some point. And like you said, it was times where it felt like the Rams were about to dominate them. It
almost was the opposite whenever the Bengals got that pick, though. They could have went up 11.
Right. So it was like you could see both sides, though, where it was like they had to respond. Then you see when Burrow went down, and it's like, yo, is he hurt significantly where he's yelling on the ground? But then he has to come back from that and overcome it. Jamar Chase, seeing if he could step up in a game like this where he actually, I like his game so much, bro. I can't help it.
I can't believe he made that one catch. Well, he made both catches. The one was a swing pass.
Yo, he's
still made a hell of a catch there, and then the one down the sideline was insane.
Insane, bro. Yeah.
And he had drop problems.
I'm a fan.
Apparently, he doesn't anymore.
Yeah, I'm a fan, bro. I'm a fan. So, like, I definitely like that, though, from them. And I just thought that as a whole, it was cool to see some of their younger players, man, like Logan Wilson, for example. This is a dude who's been in the league for 2 years now, but seeing him on this big stage and making plays. And even when he had a questionable penalty on him, he didn't turn it away. He was like, no, I'm going to come back and make a play the next time. Like, I just like seeing that type of stuff, man, from, like you said, guys that aren't always talked about, guys that aren't always the big name. Even Jesse Bates getting the pick early on, man, in the end zone. It was like, man, we're not Jesse fans here, but it's like, yo, we still acknowledge him.
It was a good play.
Absolutely. So for me, it was like seeing that type of stuff. I did like it. I'm not gonna lie. I felt a little guilty about it, but I did like it.
What did you think of the refs? I actually think the refs did an awesome job.
I like the fact they let them play.
Yeah, that's one time there was a scuffle on the sideline. You could have thrown like 3 flags.
Talking about the Aaron Donald joint.
Yeah, I was like, this is amazing.
Got popping though.
Thank you for no flags on that. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was waiting to see if Aaron Donald was gonna choke somebody though, because that's his go-to move. I was like, he's about to put hands on somebody.
They could have definitely thrown flags.
Yes. Yes. I'm like, he bumping the ref. I'm like, yo, AD, don't get thrown out, baby, please. But ever since that play, though, you notice the next play, he destroys the guard. And then after that, bro, it was just a wrap. It was like, yo, y'all done pissed off the wrong dude. That's not the one y'all want to get mad. But going back to AD, I was thinking about him, and I was thinking about you in the game, because the last play of the game on defense, when he said he had to go out there and win, big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games, that matchup was Pittsburgh University held a Pitt, that's it, right? University of Pitt. No, Pittsburgh University, correct? That's it, right? Or University of Pitt?
University of Pittsburgh.
University of Pittsburgh, or just Pitt.
Yes.
There we go. So it was Pitt versus Quentin Spain, WVU. We had a little foreshadow of the backyard brawl right then and there, last play.
Yeah, I could see that happening this year.
And what ended up happening was held to Pitt. Aaron Donald cooks them. Barbecue chicken.
Man,
I'm
I
talking
didn't even
crazy.
think of that.
Yeah. But I did like that because, I like these O-line, D-line matchups. I was like, you know what? Ooh, West Virginia, Pitt. Whoa, who gonna win it? And yeah, he cooked that boy.
Yeah, Donald went off. Obviously, Von Miller. Floyd was getting in the mix too. They were giving them problems. Now, the Bengals O-line kind of stood up for most of the first half, but then just the floodgates went through in the second half, and Burrow was getting sacked left and right and couldn't really move the ball.
But now I did want to ask a question, though.
Okay.
Because obviously, you had the MVP, and I do think that was something that got talked about a little bit as well.
Oh, yeah.
Because, Cooper Kupp did get the MVP. Did you like that, or?
Stafford. I go Stafford.
You
it goes back.
Lover.
Nah, it goes back to what I was saying, dude. Cooper Kupp's nothing without Stafford there. The no-look throw, too.
Stafford had 2 picks.
You know the one was not his fault.
He still
Dude,
had
that
2
was
picks.
terrible on 18.
He still had 2 picks.
And
I ain't see and Stafford wasn't an athlete out there in space. Go catch the ball, man. Coop put it up there where he needed to go catch the ball, man.
Bad pass.
Nah, that was a bend pass.
Wait,
go catch the ball,
how about
man.
this though? How about this? Just because it's the Super Bowl, we don't have to do running back passes and Philly
Yes,
specials
we do.
all over the place.
Yes, we do.
Joe Mixon, that was nice, but yeah, just because you're in the Super Bowl, don't do Philly specials.
You have to, because it's gonna get talked about.
It was open. It worked.
Yeah, if the quarterback would have been a better athlete, clearly one guy can do multiple jobs. You know, whereas Stafford, he's very limited. So yeah, shout out to the Offensive Player of the Year. Just, you know, he had to run the ball to pick up the first down. He had to throw the ball. You know, he had to go catch the game-winning touchdown twice. Like, dang, is there anything else he needs to do for Matthew Stafford so Stafford could be, you know, elite and Stafford can get all this recognition and get the MVP trophy that you want him to have so bad? Nah. I mean, Kupp was carrying that man. I'm sure Kupp back hurt right now. His back hurt because he had Stafford, get on. I'm gonna carry you here. That's what he did, man. Get that man Kupp that love, man.
No, what I did.
But they said the cup overfloweth. That's what they were saying, man.
Nah, because if it was Beckham instead of Kupp, I think it could have been the same result. Nah, I think it was Stafford, man. If you don't have Stafford out there, your team's nothing.
Come on, bro.
The no look, man. And
bro,
I think
that no look, man. Y'all stop gassing that up.
That was
bro.
a clutch pass.
It was, but who caught it?
It was Kupp.
Exactly. So you need
Come
him.
on, a little slant route. Odell Beckham can run that.
18, didn't it?
They stopped throwing his way. Which
Yeah,
was
exactly,
a good call.
because of Kupp.
At one point, I said it's just got to be Kupp and it's got to be number 88. And 88 even looked shaky because he was bobbling
I was
the
not
one.
feeling 88, bro.
No, but he came up good with some clutches.
I know, but I just didn't like. I felt like you said, he was just shaky. I didn't feel like he was confident. I felt like something was bad. Something bad would have happened if they kept playing through him.
I was really surprised about Kupp because my rankings would have been Stafford 1, Donald 2, and then Kupp 3.
See, I had it Cooper 1. I had Donald 2.
Kupp?
Yeah, I had Donald 2, but I said I could have went 1A, 1B, or even co-MVP because I did think that Aaron Donald's impact was just as significant, especially when you're talking about how the game ended.
Yeah.
It's like, man, if Donald's not doing that, like we talked about, you look at the tape, the dude is wide open. That's the difference between you winning and losing, but the problem is, most fans, they can't see that. They see, oh, I see this touchdown pass. I see Kupp catch it, so I know either Stafford or Kupp. It's like, all right, they could do that, but let Donald not make that play. We not seeing any of that. We talking about how Joe Burrow went in there and ripped their hearts out. That's to me, and that's why I'm like, Aaron Donald had a game too. 2 sacks. I think it was 3 QB hits, couple pressures as well. Stuff to run. He was the heart of that defense. So that's why I'm like, I definitely put him in there as well. But then Stafford to me was the third on that list because I thought that he definitely helped his team in a huge way. I thought that he displayed some toughness as well. Obviously, he got rolled up on. And he showed some clutch factors, man. That last drive, was it the 14, 15 play drive or however long it was? Like, that was crazy. But to me, I just said I can't solely put all of that on him when I know Kupp was just as significant on that drive. But then I also thought of
started throwing
right.
the Kupp too.
But then I'm like, man, that 4th and 2, bro, that 4th and 2 jet sweep. I'm like, man, that is a huge play. Huge play. And that has zero to do with Stafford. So to me, that's kind of how I decide. I'm like, man, if I'm contemplating, well, hey, all your yardage came from you throwing at this guy. Do I want to give him the credit or you the credit? You know what? Who got that right there? Who did this right there? All right. So that's kind of how I looked at it, man.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think you can really go wrong with either three. Yeah. I just thought it was going to be between Stafford and Donald.
Yeah.
I was really surprised.
AD went off, bro. Like, I would have been all for AD getting it. I did laugh a little bit too, though, man, because I don't know if you saw at the end where they're doing the interviews, talking to everybody. They're on stage, and right at the end, the dude's like, something, Matthew Stafford. And Stafford turned like he about to get that interview. He was ready. And my man was like, no, we're going to commercial. Don't worry about it. I was like, yo, that got jacked up, man.
No, I missed it. I didn't really watch too much coverage, to be honest.
Yeah, it was when they gave the owner of the Super Bowl trophy, and then from there, McVay talked, Cooper Kupp MVP, Aaron Donald talked, and after that, it was like, something, Matthew Stafford. And Stafford's playing with his kids. He's like, oh. And they started to fan that camera. I'm like, yeah, it's all right, buddy. It's all good. You get it next time. He thought he was going to be important. Nah,
that's messed up.
It happens, though, bro.
Now, what did you think of the last drive for the Bengals? That last sequence of... What was it? After second down, they tried throwing
P run, bro.
Yeah, second down, they tried throwing the bomb, miscommunication with Chase, but then you have the 3rd and the 4th down calls.
I hated both, not because of the call. I hated it because they ran the ball without Joe Mixon. I was like, bro, Joe Mixon is a top 5 running back in
He
the
played
NFL.
good too. He played
Joe
good in that
Mixon,
game.
absolutely. Whether you're running the ball or catching out the backfield. So to me, I don't hate the calls. I don't hate them running that ball because I do feel like with Joe Mixon, he's actually going to fall forward. That's Joe Mixon, though. We talk about elite running backs. Najee Harris, when Elbell was in his prime, what did we say was their characteristic? They always fall forward. Never backwards, always forward. Samaje Perine isn't an elite back that we expect is going to always fall forward, so why put him in that position right there? I don't care. Like, it's like, bro, you know the game is on the line. Joe Mixon isn't that tired. If he was tired on that first play, not the second play, it's like you got to have him out there for that. That was my biggest issue because the throw to Samaje Perine, that was the product of Aaron Donald winning. That was the product of Aaron Donald with the rush. So I look at it like this. At least if I'm going down, let me go down with my best talent out there. So I'm not questioning, well, hey, did Samaje, should he have dove for that last pass? Was it close enough? I don't know, but I'm asking that because
he was out there on both.
Right, but I'm asking that because Joe Mixon wasn't out there. And I don't want to do that with the biggest game of these guys' lives on the line right there. It's like, nah, dude, like, let me, bro, could you imagine if we had a game on the line and it's like, hey, Najee, you come out. Benny Snell, you run it. Hey, Benny Snell, it's a pass play. Next play, you stand for that pass play and Najee on the sideline. We're going to be losing our mind, bro. And that's all I kept thinking when I'm watching. I'm like, yo, what are they doing? Like, outside of that, I didn't have an issue with anything they had going on. But it's like, game on the line, bro. I don't want you to go down with the alternative. Go down with the guy that you brought here. Go. If we're going to lose, I'm losing with Jamar Chase. If we're going to lose, I'm losing with T. Higgins. If we're going to lose, I'm losing with Tyler Boyd. I'm not losing with Samaje Perine, bro. I just can't. That's the part. I'm just like, yeah. I can't live with that. You brought the analogy up, even with the fantasy football. Would you say, man, would you rather have you Lamar or you going to go out there, or was it Russell or Huntley or Tyler Huntley? Yeah. It's like, bro, you want to go down with your guy. And that's kind of how I felt watching that sequence, man.
That's why I didn't even like the run. Now, whatever, you get the first down, hindsight's 2020, then run's good. But I didn't like it from the fact as soon as you run the ball, you're automatically going to have to take a timeout. And also, you talk about going down with a certain player's ball in their hands. I'd rather go down with Burrow, though, and making the pass.
And that's fine as well. Like, I'm good with all. The only reason why I didn't hate the runs is because I said it's 3rd and 2. You're looking at this play as I just need to pick up this first down to get the fresh set of downs. Fresh set of downs, you know you got a timeout or two. I think they had, two? They had 1 or 2.
They had 2, because as soon as they ran it, they had to call the one.
So, like, my thought process was you're going to run this ball, you're going to get the first down, timeout, fresh set of downs, because they were, still right around midfield time in that area.
They're really close. Yeah. You're probably about 10 yards away from a field goal.
So I'm looking at it like that. Like, you get that first down, timeout, reset, get composed. Now we know we're not stopping this clock again until we're kicking a field goal. So, like I said, I didn't have an issue with that. But I don't want to run that with Samaje because even if it's a big run and we're going to keep this thing going, I don't want to keep Samaje in the next time because you're in a hurry-up situation. So that was my biggest issue with that. It's like, yeah, I would love to keep Joe Burrow and just having him with the ball. But at the same time, I know in that second half especially, Aaron Donald and that pass rush were winning a lot. So the more you drop back to quote unquote put it in the quarterback's hand, which I do feel like you have to, you put that O-line in danger, as we saw also. So that's why I was like, man, the run doesn't kill it. And they were even running to start the drive, if you think about it, right?
Yeah.
And they had success. So that's why I'm like, I like what they were doing, but the difference was early in the drive, they were using Mixon. Then you get to the game on the line and you're using Samaje Perine. I'm like, bro, I'd almost rather you call a timeout.
Timeout there.
Call a timeout. It's like, you know what, man? We got to have this a big situation right here. Call a timeout. Or after the 3rd and 2 when they came short, say, yo, give me the timeout. Bring my guy back in there.
Right,
That's the other
for
part.
The 4th down.
Right. Not call a timeout and not bring him back in. Because now we're like, bro, what was the purpose? Like, what are we doing here? That was my biggest grievance, though, with that sequence right there.
Yeah, because the 4th down, it's just like, what can you do when Donald's winning like that? And Burrow still almost was able to complete the pass over to the flat. Maybe they were going for the dub, though, as you said, with Jamar Chase winning.
Jamar, bro, like, I'm going to show you the picture of it, bro. He has him beat. It looked very similar to when Ramsey was about to fall when the whole question about the face mask and cover his knee. Like, it looks similar to that in terms of Jalen, both hands on the ground, falling out of control, and Jamar beating him. Like, that's what it looked like. And that's why I'm like, bro, if they was going for the dagger right there, I respect the heck out of it. But once again, it was just, Aaron Donald beating, the O-line. So it's always funny when you think about it, like, hindsight 2020, you're like, dang, that was the big question about the Bengals draft, right? You go Jamar Chase or do you go offensive line? And it's like, dang, to see it end kind of like that, you're like, well, Not that that'll redo it or anything like that, because I still think they did it right, getting Jamar. But it's just funny like how that works. It's like, well, you actually still have that player. He was open, but because your old line failed you, you can't get it out there.
And that's the funny thing with the Bengals run, though, altogether, is like, granted, they came up big when the game mattered most in the fourth quarters. At the same time, they kind of skated by. With
they had Raiders, some issues, bro.
Carr made the bad decision to throw that pick. I mean, they're 10 yards away from, I think, was it winning that game if they scored a touchdown? So Raiders could have advanced there. And then the Titans, you want to talk about their offensive line.
Yep.
Joe Burrow was getting hit left and right, but it was Tannehill that threw the game away. And then Chiefs, they're smoking the Bengals, but then they just self-collapse in the second half. So, like, you got to give them credit for getting there, but at the same time,
they were more resilient than dominant, if that makes sense.
Right?
Like,
yeah, they just couldn't do it against. I mean, probably the best defensive lineman maybe in NFL history.
Yeah, he's in
at least in this era. You know,
absolutely, he's in that conversation, man. Absolutely.
Against him, Von Miller, Leonard Floyd, they just couldn't do it in this one.
Yeah. Now, speaking of that D lineman, what do you make of these reports about him potentially, considering retirement?
I wouldn't blame him. Like, what else you got?
That's been my big thing. Like, I get when people say, "Oh yeah, man, you want to add some more rings, Defensive Player of the Years," but I'm like,
this is what his career's been building up to this point right here. He's done everything. 8
years, you got 3 Defensive Player of the Year awards consecutive, if I remember correctly. You have 7 first-team All-Pros, 8 Pro Bowls. It's like, dude, you've made crazy money. You are gonna always go down as one of the best defensive tackles, and the reason I say arguably is because of this. There's never going to be a person that can get so many accolades that is above reproach. Perfect person is Tom Brady. If I ask you right now, Deke, who's the best quarterback ever? Who are you going to say? No, seriously, who are you going to say?
I got to go with my guy, Ben.
Exactly. But when we're talking accolades, though, Tom Brady has some of the best accolades, right? All-time great accolades. But you say that, I know people that say it's Dan Marino. I know people that say it's Joe Namath.
Right.
So
that's what gets better as time goes on. You always say, that's just my guy.
But that's why for me, if you're Aaron Donald and you're deciding, man, if I should come back for a legacy, I'm like, that legacy is just for talking heads and fans. As a football player, man, we know who you are. You don't ever hear me debate about if he's the greatest player.
We could talk me, Joe Green, Aaron Donald. You could bring up Reggie White. Who knows? Everyone's going to have their opinion.
And that's my thing. I'm like, don't make that opinion for, what's your all-time legacy? Because people are always going to have something to say. Like I said, the fact that with Brady, in terms of resume, right, and accolades, can you really say that there's been a better career, like football-wise? No. But he's always going to be oh, no, he's not the GOAT. No. Well, he didn't do this. Well, he got that. Well, what about this? It's always going to be something. It's always going to be,
and like,
what about the coach?
You could even take me out of it with Ben. I'm sure there's people that are going to bring up, I still think Peyton Manning's better. I still think Aaron Rodgers is better.
But in all seriousness, like, that happens. And it's like, bro, he has how many, like, think about the accolades that he has. But it's always something. Even him leaving New England to win it elsewhere. It's always going to be something. So if you're Aaron Donald, who cares about all of that when you know for a fact, bro, what I've done in these 8 years, nobody has done that. You feel me? Like, in terms of that productivity, individual success, team success, money, fame, it's like, bro, he don't have anything else to prove, man.
No, I wouldn't blame him at all. And with the Rams, I don't know how their team's going to be looking here in the next 2 or 3 years. I don't know.
Seriously, man.
I'm not their cap expert right now, but you're going to have to sign Stafford. You traded a bunch of these picks.
Yeah.
You're going to have some dudes coming up for bigger contracts. They're talking about, we want to re-sign Odell. And this was even before the injury because now, who knows, he might be out all next year. But if you're trying...
Especially this late in the year. Right?
Yeah, if you're trying to upkeep on this team, you just might not be able to. And it might not be the same. Like, this was their best chance, and they took advantage of it. Absolutely.
Yes, like
especially now after that they got the Super Bowl. Now I get it if they don't get it this year.
Yeah, maybe
all these guys come back. One more round, we got to do it again. But now that you already got it,
cheaper, when you get the ring, it's like I don't have to take pay cut anymore. I'm going to get paid elsewhere because I've already won a championship. And for something, like I said plenty of times, you've heard me talk about this. Not everybody's goal as an NFL player is to win a championship. For fans, it's always, hey, we want your team to win. But for a lot of guys, it's like, yo, I care about the money. I care about fame. I care about health. Like, not everybody is as willing to, hey, I'll do whatever to win another one and another one. Like, not everybody feels like that professionally. And that's another part that you always have to take into account. But I've also seen, not just with the AD situation, even McVay, like we talked about, he was another guy linked to it. And I do feel like at times people will hear these names and say, man, there's zero chance. How could they do that?
I could see it. For the amount of time that they talk about that he puts in.
Seriously, man.
He finally got the ring.
Yeah, and it's like just because a guy is
And
great
he's young
at it,
as hell, but
right?
still.
Just because a guy is great at something and is dominant doesn't mean that they necessarily want to do that exclusively for the rest of their life, and they're in their 30s. McVay is 36. Aaron Donald is 30 years old. Like, that's the other part of it,
McVay's
man.
8 years older than me. Wow.
That's crazy, right?
Oh, wow. I can't even win a Super Bowl in damn Madden.
That's nuts. He done win the 2-1-1, Lord.
I'm doing mine with integrity, though.
There it is.
100% Steelers
There
on the
it
team.
is.
I'm not going out and buying and selling
Yeah.
players like he is. I mean,
That's
come
what
on.
it is?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what he's doing.
Okay.
He's not doing it with integrity. He's trying to build a super team. He's got a glitch squad out there.
But when I think of that, I'm just like, I could easily see a scenario where he says to himself, man, I'm 36. I could leave for 10 years, come back and be 46. Still prime, still super young for coaching. Like, think about this. Most time for coaches, it's like 50s is like that sweet spot. Like, you know how much time this man has? Like, and that's another thing I think of, even like a Zach Taylor. He's another guy where it's like, at times people might be like, oh man, he's capped, or we figured him out. And it's like, dude, they're in their 30s. You know how much they can develop over the next 5 to 10 years? Like, this is crazy when you're thinking about these young coaches having this type of success. Shanahan in there. I mean, we can go down the list of these younger coaches now, this new wave, in a sense, really starting to show that they can produce results, man, and get the quote-unquote big winning.
And
like,
what's funny is with McVay, I know we ripped on him a lot for his first Super Bowl appearance. Like, oh, man, Belichick exposed him and stuff. And we're ripping on Taylor a little bit today with, oh, man, what was he doing on third down, fourth down? But you're right. I mean, 2 or 3 years down the line, you make your adjustments, you learn from that type of stuff, and we saw it.
Because that's definitely what McVay did, right?
Right in front of us with McVay.
Absolutely, man. So when I think of that, I'm just like, man, like this is crazy right here, man. But I like it though. Definitely like it.
You got any other things with the Super Bowl?
I did. In fact, since the halftime show was actually playing, what were your thoughts on it?
Oh, it was great.
Oh, man, I loved it as well, man.
Yeah, it was
who was your favorite performer? Did you have a favorite?
Probably Snoop.
Snoop
Unfortunately, you knew he was gonna do it. You knew it. He wore the royal and yellow. I'm just surprised it wasn't a jersey. I thought it was going to be a Rams jersey.
Aaron Donald on it.
It was either going to be Aaron Donald.
Odell.
Oh, maybe Odell. I was thinking Dickerson. Didn't you bring up Dickerson whenever we talked about it?
I didn't even remember, but I could have definitely seen it, though, yeah. For me, man, shoot,
Snoop was just clean, though. He was smooth up there.
He had me
50
in here.
with the surprise appearance.
Bro, I don't like how they memed him, but I love the nostalgia because I grew up like that was my time frame. That's 01, 02. That's harder for me. And when as soon as they cut the camera, my man came up, I said, yo, we in the club. Because that was the vid. And I instantly got so hyped. Like, I'm sitting in the crib, got the folks over, and they're like, you good? I'm like, dude, you don't know. I could have been that Leonardo DiCaprio meme where he's like,
yeah,
that was me. Because as soon as I was like, yo, that's him, I got hype as heck. But then for me, I also love Kendrick Lamar's performance. I thought that, man, the choreograph with the group with him stepping around and dance, stuff like that, like, I thought it was dope. And he just went to like I'm a Kendrick fan, like I love his music anyways, but he just took it to like, I feel like when he performs, man, he goes.
We needed Humble. That's what we needed, though. He needed to play one of the hits.
There wasn't enough time. But for me, man, I like I said, I thought it was just dope seeing that. And it's crazy to think those are all Dre's like understudies. Those are all his little disciples that he's brought on to put on. Eminem doing what he does, man. Like it was dope. Shout out to Eminem. He had them fire personal edition Jordan 3s on, by the way. I would entertain getting my hands on some, but what that would cost my wife would probably tell me I need to go away for 30 more days. You know what I mean? So I'm going to chill on that, but them things was fire. What was your thoughts on the reports about the whole kneeling thing? Because they were saying apparently like Goodell and the NFL told him not to take a knee. The Colin Kaepernick style, and that's what they're calling it, Kaepernick style.
I heard mixed reports on that. I heard one report that said they were kind of shunning it a little bit, but then another report saying like, no, they didn't care about it at all.
Yeah, because that's what I'm thinking. I was like,
it's Eminem. I mean, he could do what he wants.
And you know he was going to do what he wants.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's Eminem, bro. It's Eminem. But I thought it was dope, man. I was down for it. I guess, and especially because, like I said, I don't know if that was truly why he did it or anything like that. But if it was in support, like that's pretty dope, man. Because like you said, it's always good to see the other side show that support in terms of non-minorities, right? Because that's the only way in terms of ending, systemic racism, anything along that line. The biggest thing is it can't just be one side. It can't just be the minorities speaking on it. It takes both sides. We talk about this all the time, anywho. But to me, I did like that part. But as a whole, man, I thought it was a dope show, man.
Mary J. Blige, a little too much.
But she was the only female, and she's like the matriarch when it comes to this type of stuff.
Well, my thing
man.
is though, I don't know her whole discography.
Yeah.
But they played the first song, like everyone knew it. But then the second one,
see, the second one for like
I didn't know any of that.
So this
I'm
the
just
thing,
like,
so, like,
come on,
Mary- so,
we
like-
need another Eminem song, we need another Dre song, we
this
need
the
another
thing.
50 song. That's
so
what I
this the
wanted.
thing. So like Mary fans, like that's a classic. That's like hip hop,
Okay.
like singer, like R&B music, like that's a classic. But it's one of those ones like you have to think also age difference. She's probably 10 to 20 ahead of you because she's even a little bit ahead for me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So like I know some of her stuff, but like her, I kind of look at her the same way in like a Janet Jackson. It's like I know some of their hits, but I can't connect to everything because I didn't grow up in that. Whereas like you talk 50 Cent, Eminem, not even Dr. Dre, because I can't even say that, but Kendrick Lamar. Like we can relate to growing up to feeling certain songs, and even a song that to a person 10 years younger than us or 15 years, they might not feel the same way. But we're like, no. That's that one right there because we experienced it. That's kind of what Mary J is like. And Dr. Dre would have been the same, but Dr. Dre, he just was like, I'm gonna play the ones that got Snoop on it, and I'm gonna play all these like bangers, and we gonna rock that way.
Yeah, and good thing they did. That's
Yeah.
why I was wondering from Kendrick. You're right, because the choreography was all sick.
was
I was
it.
just, I needed a banger
He
though.
didn't give you the
Give
banger.
Give me Humble.
Yeah.
And then I thought, like, if you were to replace Mary J in her last song, I think you'd do like another 51 or another Eminem one. Which one with Eminem? I don't know. Because he already did the Lose Yourself like motivation
Yeah,
one.
he
You
could've
needed
done-
you
he
needed like a
could've
club
done
one.
What's my yeah, he could have done
Yeah, what's my name?
what's my name? But even
You
Snoop,
could've done a club one.
I
Slim
wanted
Shady.
Snoop to give me the what's my name? Snoop Dogg. But I ain't get that.
Gin and Juice.
You know what I'm saying? Like they play some heat, but at the same time, you had to remember that it wasn't like a full-fledged concert. It was just a halftime
It was great though
show.
for what it is. Yeah, we could have these
Yeah.
little complaints left and right, but it was really good.
I just, like I said, I also loved the actual setup. I thought that because it was the LA, it was all the LA, but I just like how even like when they're going through the different rooms in the house, it's like, man, you see pictures of Snoop Dogg in here, you see this old school thing right here. It just screamed LA. It was dope to me, man.
The one thing they were missing though for sure was California. They should have brought the Tupac hologram out.
I'm not gonna lie, when
That would've been badass.
When Dre started to play I Ain't Mad at You on the keys, I definitely thought Tupac was like the hologram
You need the
or
the hologram would've been
something.
sick.
I swear I was like, yo. I was like, because he's like, da-da-da-da, and I was like, oh, that's the
Dude, the hologram would have been so
Bro,
sick. People would have went crazy.
Because even seeing 50 there, I'm like, 50 is a Dre disciple in the sense of, when that whole thing came out, it was like, yo, I get why he's there. But I'm like, all right, when I saw him, I was like, okay, so it's not just the people that y'all talked about then. Okay. I just felt like it was the time. I was like, yo, it's perfect. Just drop him. Have Tupac, bandana, nose ring, just thug life one time, man. Just give me 30-second hologram. That's why I want 30 seconds. But we ain't get it.
No, it was great though.
Yeah.
Now, do you have any more? Because I got one more here in terms of like a question or like topic kind of related to the Super Bowl.
Nah, go for it. What you got, man?
Whose window is more in trouble?
Ooh.
Rams or Bengals?
All right, I'm gonna say Rams because their guys are already on second and third contracts, so money wise, it impacts them a
Donald's
lot
talking
more.
about hanging them up.
Right, because if Aaron
Even
Donald
McVay.
leaves, granted you'll get a lot.
McVay would be devastating.
Yeah, no, McVay kills the whole process here. But if Donald were to retire, right? However much money is remaining on his contract, yes, you get that back. But the flip side is you lose an all-time great player. So I think of that. Whereas like with Cincy, most of their guys are draft picks. Most of their guys are still homegrown. Jesse Bates and Joe Mixon are the two they got to take care of, but you could franchise tag one if you choose to and try to get a deal done with the other. Both play positions where you don't have to break the bank necessarily either, one being a running back, one being a safety, compared to if it was a corner, pass rusher, wide receiver, or quarterback. Those guys typically cost more. You have the young coach out there in Cincy who's not even flirting with any retirement talk, so you do feel like you have a lot more stability there. So I would say the Bengals have the larger window because most of their players, their star players, are on rookie contracts. Their head coach is still, super young, and none of those guys are talking about retirement. Whereas, like I said, even if, you hope that AD and McVay return if they choose to, but
Is that
you
for
have
2
to
years?
acknowledge it. Yeah, it's like, man, is this a 1 year thing? They come out next year, AD got hurt, and he's like, you know what? This is why I ain't want to come back anyways. And then he walks off. Or they have a losing season. McVay's like, you know what? Now y'all gonna try to come at my legacy here. I'm cool. I'm stepping out. And like, you just don't know, because when a player starts talking retirement, typically, it's gonna happen.
Now, if McVay stayed, if Donald stayed, I would say they might have the shorter near window, if that makes sense, but they'd be able to bounce back to the heights that they were this year. But you're right. I don't know if they're coming back. I think the best way to put it is stability with the Bengals. But here's why I don't really like the Bengals is because of the rest of the AFC. And then you're going to have to pay. You might have to pay Joe Burrow this offseason. I don't know how he's going to handle this to where, man, I don't want to come back on my rookie deal. You saw what I just did.
Because he's 3 years in now, right?
No, two.
No, so
two.
they can't do it until after
They
third.
can't even do it.
after 3. Yep.
Okay.
See, because they put that rule in. That was during that lockout too, when they put that rule in, because they wanted to. I don't want to say they just wanted to regulate it a little bit more. I forgot the reasoning behind that third year though, but they said that you can't extend before 3.
Oh, so yeah, Lamar probably would have done it after his MVP season.
Right. So that's the biggest reason why. So that's why I'm like, if you're Cincy, you got time. Because you don't have to deal with him. You don't have to deal with Jamar Chase. Like, you have 3. That's why Joe Mixon is another one. It was like, he had to wait a little bit. Now, granted, they've already, spent some more time with him. But that third year is where you can start negotiating. That's why Deontay Johnson, another guy, right? We talk about here in Pittsburgh. It's always after 3. That's when you're allowed to do those extensions.
I think the best way to put it for the Bengals, they could stay relevant longer just because they're going to be able to keep Joe Burrow. Whereas with Rams, who knows, man? Yeah, it all falls apart.
I was about to say, how old is Stafford? Maybe how much longer is he playing? Do we know his window right now?
He's
because I haven't
33.
heard anything from him, right? But he hasn't flirted with any retirement talk, correct?
No, not from what I'm hearing.
Okay.
But here's what's interesting: is Stafford another quarterback that's available if McVay's gone?
I mean,
there's no way if McVay leaves, he wants to stick around.
Why would you? Then you're in Detroit all over it. Well, not to the same extent, but
you just don't know. You don't know what's happening out there.
The whole the retirement talk really caught us all by surprise because their age and talent and productivity typically doesn't equate to retirement talk.
They both make 100% sense though when you talk about where they're at in their lives. McVay getting married, he said he wants to have a family and trying to coach at the level he's been. Probably not.
I'm telling you firsthand. You can't do both. not and be as involved as you want to be with your wife and your kids. Seeing it firsthand, nah, bruh. You can make it work. I'm not saying you can't make it work because obviously coaches have successful families and children and things like that. But just intimate knowledge, intimate details with various coaches at different levels. It's like, bro, it is a burden. It is very, very difficult to do it at that level, especially, man. Yeah.
Stafford, though, could be a name to watch out for. I think he has one more year left on his contract.
Yeah.
Off right now looks like a huge bargain. Because
we'll see though, because
up.
like I said, I know they're talking. They're going to want to extend him. I think I want to say that I've already seen the reports that they are already going to plan to extend him.
If you're him, you don't sign that deal until you know McVay's back.
I'm with you. Yeah, because you ain't about to have me locked in that thing.
Dude, still, even if McVay is back next year, you're right. Who's saying he's back the following year? I don't think these coach gurus are just growing on trees, too.
I agree.
It's not that simple.
If you're Stafford right now, we're offering you a 5-year deal.
$20 million.
Are you taking 5-year deal? Or
That's what I mean.
Yeah, or are you hitting them with it? Give me the cousins. Let me get a 2-year or 3-year with an option. You know what I mean?
I think you do, too. I think you do a 1-and-1. I think you do an NBA type of thing. Dude. I'm here as long as McVay's here.
Yeah, I need one with a player option.
I think that's what you do.
Seriously, man.
Well, wait, actually, let me see. Is he up right? No, it is 2022. What am I looking at here? I'm looking at career earnings. I'm sorry, not contract details. So he is.
Well, Malachi said he's coming here to wear number 7.
No way.
He's a Super Bowl champ now. He's just like 7.
Am I off on this? I don't know how they do this, but I think 2023 unrestricted free agent. But his contract this year was $20 million.
That's a bargain.
It's a huge bargain.
That is a bargain.
Well, he signed that massive deal.
That was like
back
a couple years ago,
2017. So he was probably one of the top 3 quarterbacks getting paid, top 5 getting paid then. But then the cap increases. You see some of these other quarterback deals that are just inflating everything. Yeah. That's a huge bargain.
Nah, very
probably
true,
one of the
man.
reasons they won, man. Like he was the perfect guy to trade for.
Yeah.
Probably couldn't trade for a dude that was making $40 million. Yeah. Now I don't think any of those guys were necessarily on the market because that would have been Mahomes Watson, he's obviously not on the market.
But at the time when this trade happened, I don't feel like everybody necessarily was so gung-ho that Stafford was officially going to be on the market. I think it was speculation that it could because of the coaching changes out there, but no one knew that the Rams would part with Jared Goff. Think about when they asked about the whole Goff situation, he's like, yeah, he's on the team. He's our quarterback right now. And it's like, man, up until then, there was no reason to believe otherwise until it actually happened. So, yeah, it's definitely something to look into, though, a little bit.
One more.
All right, what you got?
Stafford Hall of Famer. He's got to keep this up.
Yeah, he has the prerequisite now.
Yeah, exactly.
He definitely has a prerequisite. Now he just has to boost up his resume a little bit.
If he keeps doing what he's been doing for most of his career, I think he should get in. Now, whenever I was looking up his Pro Football Reference, I'm actually surprised. Guess how many Pro Bowls he got?
Hold on, he's NFC?
Yeah.
I feel like it's either going to be 6 or like 1.
Yeah, you're right. 1.
Yeah, I would say it's either one. Because the reason I said
he didn't even make this year.
Yeah, I was like,
well, he turned it down, obviously being in the Super Bowl.
And that's why I said I thought it would be 6 potentially because the guys turned it down. I'm thinking of Rodgers. I'm thinking of Brady getting a year. I'm thinking of.
He was probably hurt. You know what? That's probably was them turning it down. Like think of the time Teddy Bridgewater made it.
Right,
Like,
that's
Stafford was probably
though.
hurt and had to turn it down
because he's been hurt multiple times, especially while he was in Detroit. So I thought of that, but then I said the other end, it was like, man, you think about some of these quarterbacks in the NFC when they're healthy, when they're good. It's like, yeah, I could easily see that as well, man.
Like, let me go over 1 or 2 of his seasons like he didn't make the Pro Bowl.
Either that and also pull up the Pro Bowl quarterbacks from the NFC as well.
Okay, I'll try
during
to do
those
that.
different years, man.
2011, threw for over 5,000 yards and 41 touchdowns. Didn't make the Pro Bowl.
You said 2011?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Let me see some other ones. There's a couple seasons here where he throws a decent amount of picks. This one he didn't make the Pro Bowl. 4,200, 32 touchdowns, 13 picks.
Hold on.
Last year he didn't make it. Detroit in 2020, 4,000, 26 touchdowns, 10 picks. This is probably his next best one, though.
All right, hold on. So what season?
Almost 4,500, 29 touchdowns, 10 picks.
Tell me what season we looking. I got the Pro Bowl roster. So
I think
the quarterbacks made it.
The 2 most egregious ones are 2011. So, yeah, go to that one.
All right, I'm going to 2011. Let's see. Who were the NFC quarterbacks in 2011? Bro, you got Tom Brady.
No. That can't be.
Oh, no. Excuse me. Tripping. I thought it was in order. They didn't have an order. It's NFC.
They just
and
have
AFC.
6 quarterbacks.
Yeah, just quarterbacks in the low. All right, so here we go. You had Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, and Eli Manning, and then the starter was Cam Newton.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they have
someone backed out then probably.
That's what it is. Yeah, I don't know which one. And maybe I'm trying to see if this plus, if that means that player backed out because it was a plus next to Cam
2011.
Newton.
That might have been Cam's rookie season. He went off.
Yeah, but it's a plus next to it. And it's a plus next to Dalton. That's what it is. They're both rookies.
Reserves.
Yeah. Maybe, but yeah, they definitely have 1, 2, 3, 4 NFC quarterbacks listed, and then AFC 1, 2, 4 AFC quarterbacks because they got Ben. Yes, Ben Rivers, Eli Manning, and Tom Brady for the AFC.
What was Eli's stats?
Eli was 16 games played, 4,933 passing yards, 29 tutties, 16 picks.
Yep. Yeah, maybe they're just overlooking Stafford.
Yeah, and then that
Eli
year,
had a Super Bowl before that too, so I could see why they'd give that to him a little bit more off
was
reputation.
that the Super Bowl year for them? 11?
No.
Yeah,
it maybe be the second one. Wasn't that 2012 or 2013?
No, I thought 11 was the one where Victor Cruz won it, right? Because that was Victor Cruz in that group.
Was it? Manningham made the really nice catch.
Was it 11 or was it 12? I don't.
Victor Cruz might not have a Super Bowl with them actually. As weird as that sounds.
Hold on, say it again.
He might not have a Super Bowl.
No,
with them.
he definitely for a fact he has Super Bowl. Yeah, 100% guaranteed. Yes, he definitely has Super Bowl. With them. Yeah, but it was the second one. It wasn't that first one. Which,
it might have been 22. It was around.
It was like
2011
or 12. Yeah,
you're right.
Because I remember he was still on his rookie deal when he got that, and then he got paid the nice contract afterwards.
This one was Kirk Cousins made it as an alternate, and Russ made it as an alternate, but Stafford would have been the next man up.
What year is that from?
That's this year.
Oh, this year.
Yeah, he would have definitely been in if he wasn't in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You want to do one more of these?
Yeah, let's do it, man. What you got?
Okay, we'll go. This is the one with his third most touchdowns.
What season?
2015. 4,200 yards.
Let's see.
32 touchdowns, 13 picks.
All right, 2015. Pro Bowl quarterbacks. NFC.
Cam Newton, that's his MVP.
Yeah, Cam Newton. Now they got parentheses next. I mean, percentage marks. I guess these were the original
so probably
starters.
Cam, Rodgers, and Brees, huh?
It was Cam Newton. It was Aaron Rodgers and Teddy Bridgewater.
Oh, yeah, see, he had to have been hurt or something.
Yeah, you got Teddy Bridgewater. This the Tyrod year, too.
Come on.
My man Tyrod had a Pro Bowl this year, man. Chill out, bro.
Stafford had to have been hurt and, like, turned it down.
Oh, not just Russ and Jameis as well.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. And that was Jameis' rookie season. So you got Jameis,
Russ.
you got Russ.
I don't know what happened there.
But this is the one, because it's not even AFC NFC. This is where they did like the draft, and you could like pick the
so
players.
Cam couldn't play. He was in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, this is the draft one. So no Cam Newton, but NFC quarterbacks, like you said, Teddy Bridgewater. You got Eli Manning. You got Russell Wilson. Yeah.
So
and then
Jameis.
Jameis Winston.
So if
he
you
was in
actually
NFC as
look
well.
into it, Stafford probably should have around 3 or 4 Pro Bowls.
I would agree. That's
Probably
what it
should have
sounds like,
that.
bro.
Yeah. But, yeah, if he just keeps – because right now he's at 50,000 passing yards in his career with the Super Bowl, with the clutch drive. Yeah.
You like him as a Hall of Famer then?
He's just got to keep these stats up for probably 3 or 4 more seasons. I think there's more of a debate right now. If he just ended, it's like, ooh.
If he ends it,
I
I
think
still
there's
feel like he's
a little bit more left out there. But I will say this: if Dan Fouts is making it, or like Warren Moon, I feel like Stafford's got just as good of a case, especially with the Super Bowl.
Right now, Stafford versus Eli Manning. Who would you put as a Hall of Famer?
Eli.
And why is that? Because the 2 postseason runs?
Oh yeah, that's big time to me, dude.
Just the 2 postseason runs, though. Because I wonder, career stat wise.
Oh, Stafford's better.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't even think it's close, probably.
So why is it just 2 postseason runs makes him a Hall of Famer over a guy who's had a better career?
Those were big time, dude.
But this is and he has a ring.
I think
now.
they listen.
Yeah.
Wait, so hold on. Are you saying if Stafford
has a
ended
ring
right
now?
now?
Yes,
You're
if
saying
Stafford ended right now. Because think about Manning is out right now. Manning has 2 rings, but his regular season career stats, they're not better than Stafford. Stafford has elite regular season, and he has a ring now.
I think they're still good enough that I would give Eli the nod.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie to you.
Those Super Bowl performances from Eli.
Because see, for me,
because he even had amazing postseason runs too. It's not even just those games to get to the Super Bowl.
I also think about how elite that D line was as well, especially in the first Super Bowl. That was the big reason why the Patriots struggled in that game. Remember with your Michael Strahan, O.C. Umenyiora, Justin Tuck, and all that company. They got highlighted in a major way because of how dominant they were during that postseason run and in that game as well. So that's what I'm saying to myself. I'm like, I'm low key leaning Stafford. I just feel like if Stafford's last name was Manning, we would talk about him in a higher regard.
It's tough. I would probably be fine with getting Stafford in right now if his career just ended. I would probably be fine with it. I don't know if it's heat of the moment right now. Maybe I'd have to think on it a little bit more. Because now you got to think the guy that just like has 1 Super Bowl. Who are you comparing him to?
And like, I know you don't care about turnovers,
Flacco,
but I'm like, I also think about like the interception numbers for Eli. Like
Stafford's got bad turnovers though too.
But not dude, Eli. That's Eli's stat. We're not giving that to anyone else. We're not going. Oh, Stafford. No.
Favre too. I'd say.
But that's Eli's stat. That's Eli's. He owns it. That's his. We're not going to minimize that. We're not going to pass the buck to anybody else. That's it. The same way Ben owns clutch drives.
Dude,
we talk about that,
led the
right?
league in picks this year, though.
I know.
But that's my point. I don't really care about that much.
I know you don't because your guy.
Not that
I know
that
your
much.
guy. That's what your guy. He going. I get it.
Like that Stafford pick right here.
Yeah.
What was it? Right before half, he tried throwing out the bomb. That's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
That really wasn't.
I agree.
Now, granted, all of a sudden, Bengals score the next play. Oh, Stafford, what are you doing? You're an idiot. But still, I felt there's something to like game flow wise. No,
I'm with you on that. Yeah,
like, that pick wasn't terrible. The other one obviously wasn't his fault. It hit 18's hands.
Yeah.
And then it goes right to the dude.
Right. Put that pick on 18, please.
Yeah, I'd lean Eli because I think his stats are fine enough regular season wise. But those postseason runs were something.
Fair enough.
If Stafford could just, if he could keep the stats up, he's
right
fine.
now.
Who we're comparing Stafford to right now in terms of like 1 Super Bowl who you'd get in, I think is Flacco really.
But I think he's ahead of Flacco.
Right, and then you'd put like Brad Johnson or Foles. Like those dudes aren't getting.
I feel like he's ahead of all the. I think Eli's the best comp right now just because Eli has 2 rings. If Eli had 1 ring, I don't even think Eli's in there like that. I think Eli
has 1.
I think 2 ring Eli, and because his last name is Manning, that has him in this conversation. Because to me,
I don't care about the Manning name.
I know you don't, but I'm saying he's. You care about it. You care.
Like, no, if anyone pulls off what Manning did, like that, those were impressive Super Bowl runs. Clutch performances.
So why don't you talk about Nick Foles like that then?
he hasn't done it regular season wise, sustainability. Like Eli Manning was a franchise guy,
No,
even though we could debate stats between like him and Ben or him or Stafford.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
He was their franchise guy. He was the guy that kept him relevant. It was almost like Big Ben here. You felt like he had a chance at a Super Bowl.
I want to see regular season stats Eli versus Joe Flacco as well.
You want me to do that right now?
Yeah, pull that up as well, because he's another guy I'm thinking of as well. I'm like,
no Flacco.
No. I just want to see regular season stats, because we put in, like with Eli, it always goes postseason, right? It's always heavy emphasis on postseason, and we will minimize his regular season when we're talking about him as a Hall of Famer. So that's why I'm just trying to compare other guys that had maybe, a crazy playoff run, what their regular seasons might look like in comparison to him, and if we think they're Hall of Famers as well, or in that conversation.
Okay, hold on. All right, Eli, 57,000 passing yards.
Mm-hmm.
366 touchdowns, 244 picks. Do they have an interception ratio here? I guess that's 3%.
Okay.
I guess that makes sense. 3% on the interception ratio. Flacco. He has... see, this is weird, man. His career really tails off after
when he
getting
leaves?
removed from Baltimore.
Gotcha.
But I guess Manning had some empty stats like his last Giants year. But anyway, total... yards for Flacco, 41,000.
So you say Eli was what?
57.
Oh, yeah.
Flacco, and then his
touchdowns
touchdowns too. It's pretty jarring.
Okay.
227 versus Eli's 366.
Yeah.
Was it 366 or 330? Yeah, 366. And the picks 144. His interception ratio percentage is 2.4, where Eli's is 3. But yeah, completion percentage Flacco 61, Eli's at 60.
Okay.
I kind of get where you're going there. He would have had to stick it out with Baltimore more.
Yeah,
but he's just really started tailing off.
When he left, yeah, I don't. It
wasn't
because he left. It was when they switched it and Lamar took over.
And that was at his. He was around 31, 32, 33. Whereas Manning, he still had some good seasons after that stat wise, like in the 4,000s, 35 touchdowns. Where Flacco, he became a backup.
It's interesting, man. Yeah, Eli's
I wouldn't
a weird
consider
person.
Flacco
I'm trying to see,
the Hall of Fame. No, there's no way.
I'm trying to think who else falls in that category of how Stafford and Eli Manning are right now.
I think they're close, right?
Phillip
Rivers. I mean, he doesn't have the bowl though.
But I feel
he's got the 8 Pro Bowls.
But see, for me, I feel like Rivers is still above both of those guys because of how dominant his regular seasons were.
You know what I'm thinking.
He's
after both.
I know. I like him over both of them personally. Put it like this: game on the line for your life. Who you want out there between those three?
I think it's Eli, dude.
Fair enough.
I think it's Eli.
It's a regular season game too, not a Super Bowl.
It doesn't count.
Why doesn't it count?
Because Eli needs to be let known in his ear. Some guy's gonna die if he's gonna lose this. That's it. Because if it's just a regular season game and he doesn't know that, he might come out flat. He might. He needs to know the stakes.
Say, yo, can somebody tell him about to die, please?
Yeah, he needs to know the stakes. Even if it is a regular season game, he needs to know the stakes.
Yo.
I think I'd go Eli. I mean, it would be Eli, Stafford, and Phillip. Yeah, Phillip will be last on my list.
All right, so hold on. King Stacks, shout out to you for this. He says, Matt Ryan versus Eli Manning. How do you fall on that? Ryan doesn't have a Super Bowl. Check his stats though. Let's see what his stats.
It's not even close. This is where you have the saying you throw the stats out the window.
Oh, you do?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
This is one of those scenarios.
Okay.
You know how you bring different scenarios to the table.
I'm with you.
This is where you throw the stats out.
I was going to tell
and
Matt
regular
Ryan,
season MVP, I could care less.
Oh, I'm telling Matt Ryan it's regular season. I'm telling Matt Ryan it's only the first 3 quarters. We ain't worried about the fourth.
Hey.
But he's stamped up though, bro.
No. I've said this before.
Yeah.
Ask Matt Ryan right now. Would he rather be his career or Stafford's? I guarantee he takes Stafford's. Because Stafford doesn't have the Super Bowl MVP, regular season MVP. He got the Super Bowl though.
Debatable. The only reason I say it's debatable, I would need to see career earnings. I would need to see it. No, because I've had these same conversations with guys who were in my class. And it's like, not like my draft class was just like in the same vein of, okay, I got more money. They want a ring.
You know that Super Bowl haunts Ryan, though. It has to.
I'm sure it does, but I talk to guys who have a ring. And they tell me to my face every single time, I would take your career with your money over this ring because my ring has me living X place with this situation, whereas your money has you living here like this.
I do think it's different, though, when you're talking like reputation, legacy, especially quarterback. Now, if you're talking
Quarterback's different. Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Yeah,
man.
because quarterback, you're like the leader of the team.
Yeah.
You know, and then especially when you're talking Ryan or some of these guys right now,
Yeah.
Ryan, Manning, Stafford, this is the difference between like legacy, like
But,
the
bro,
greats, Hall of Fame.
Like
You
Matt
put-
Ryan is still in that conversation though, and he just has more individual success as well.
Oh, so it's, you know
That's
what
all?
Stafford has, or Ryan has? It looks like
Ryan stay up there, bro.
Oh, his stats are good. He might have even played less seasons than Eli, but he has 367 touchdowns right now,
Oh, damn.
59,000 yards. So they're like right there.
So he has
The
more
are-
yards than Eli. Then,
He has
'cause
more
Eli's at
yards. He has
57,
more yards and touchdowns,
And you said
actually.
he's played less right now.
It looks like it just
Okay.
from eye test right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I have Eli pulled up right next to it. So let me see. 236 games for Eli, 222 for Matt. Yeah, so it is less games.
Mm-hmm.
And interception ratio is better too,
Mhm.
2.1, where Eli's was 3.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm still taking Eli. It's not even close.
And Matt Ryan is he a Hall of Famer?
Ooh, see, this is
Because
him and Phillip. Him and
if
Phillip
Eli
are like,
Manning, if you saying Eli Manning is surefire the way you've been
Yeah.
looking and talking,
he's in.
Matt Ryan has to be in.
I
What?
can't do it.
Bro, you're crazy.
He needs to have the hardware.
If Matt Ryan is in there, man, I ain't putting Eli in there, man. It's just me.
Oh,
That's just how I feel, bro. Matt Ryan, you just read it off yourself.
oh yeah, I know.
You just read it off yourself.
He's probably after
And,
Stafford on me.
and do they have any individual awards? We know
He is the MVP
Ryan
regular
has the
season.
MVP. He has a Rookie of the Year as well, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah, he does.
Does he have any Offensive Player of the Years?
That was with the MVP.
Okay.
That's it.
How many
Bell
All-Pros?
Award? What the hell is that?
Burt Bell, that's
One All
like,
Pro,
yeah,
4
PA.
Pro Bowls.
One All Pro and 4 Pro Bowls. All right, let's check Eli. What does he
4
have?
Pro Bowls for Eli, and then the Super Bowl championship, the Super Bowl MVP. The two of them. Yeah.
No.
Walter Payton, Man of the Year.
No. Is it All Pros, Pro Bowls? That's what I'm listening for.
None of that.
Regular season MVP?
No, I don't care about that.
Bro, you sound like this is nonsense, bro.
Cam.
If Eli Manning
We
is
throwing
going...
Cam in the mix.
Cam who? Newton?
Yeah.
I don't think his stats don't match up to those guys right now. They
He's
don't.
probably got 4 or 5 Pro Bowls. Got the
No,
MVP.
not Pro Bowls, but you talk about the numbers. 59,000 passing yards,
What's tough with him
57,000
is
passing
he's got
yards.
the rushing stats and like rushing touchdowns and stuff.
Okay, but you're talking 360 plus passing touchdowns as well. Like, that's gaudy. That's all I'm saying. I don't think Cam is even close to that conversation.
I don't think I'd have Cam in either.
Yeah.
There's where I have it. I don't know if this is Hall of Fame, but this is like life on the line type
Okay.
of stuff. Eli, Stafford, and then you have Matt Ryan, Rivers, Cam Newton. I don't really care. I've seen these guys close. That's what it is.
Okay. Okay, I'll
What-
do
what's
your eulogy. I ain't tripping.
What's your hold on. If that's Hall of Fame rankings though, you said you'd have Rivers. You'd probably have Rivers out of the top.
I got
Rivers.
I got Rivers at 1. I'll probably go. I'm going Rivers 1. Rivers 1. Ryan 2. I'm on the fence between Manning versus Stafford because Manning has the 2 playoff runs which were remarkable, unreal. But I feel like, how many regular seasons do I have to see you be nobody before I can get you to one of these postseason runs? And it's cool to keep talking about the 2 postseason runs, but it's like, why didn't you ever make it back? Why couldn't you ever get back out there? We talk about personnel.
They were in the play. They were one and done. So,
But I'm talking about for him. I'm talking about where were your wins? Where were your runs? Like with Ben, right? We don't have to just talk about 2 postseason where he won Super Bowls. Like, no, we can go down the list of he won here, he won there, he took him to the AFC Championship, he went here. I can't say that with Eli. That's my only thing, man. So when I think that's why I'm still torn between him versus Stafford, though, in terms of who I would have as third, because Stafford, I felt like he's had, crazy regular seasons, but outside of this season, we've never seen him really have success in the postseason. So do I say this is the product of the team that money bought? Is this a product that he's actually taken that next step? I mean,
he showed it though.
I feel like he did,
performed,
but
yeah.
It's still a small sample size. Whereas like with Brady, for example, how many times have we seen Brady do that, right? With even Eli Manning, we've seen him do it 2 times, right? In terms of the postseason run. That's my only
I hate
thing
his
with
playoff
Stafford.
stats, man. When they show him up, it's like yards in
Yeah.
the Super Bowl or something.
It's
I'm
crazy.
like, come on,
Yeah.
I don't need to see that.
It's crazy. They're like, yeah, he's had enough
That's like
Super
a-
Bowl
that's like a
games. He played a
regular
regular season. Yeah, it's like, yo, this is nuts, bro.
I don't need to see that
This
right
is
now.
nuts. Yeah. But when I think of that, that's why I'm kind of torn because I think Stafford's the more talented player, but I think Eli, I like his moxie a little bit better, if that makes sense. Just
So
over like
you would have Cam last then.
yeah, I think Cam is definitely last to me in that vein. Like Cam is dynamic in terms of his legs, but he can't pass like those guys, and what he can bring running wise.
It's done now. Like,
well,
he's
yeah,
done.
it's definitely done now. Yeah,
He's
but
done.
I don't know. For me, man, I'm still a sucker for like traditional like passing quarterbacks in terms of when I rank, because it's like I can't, like, I don't have to worry about so many other variables when I know this is elite passing, elite arm, size, all that. When we're talking about the runs and stuff like that, I'm like, it muddies it up a little bit more. It makes them more dynamic in some veins, but now I'm asking myself, is this run better than this bad pass? Is this run better than, average passing stats? And that's, I just don't like doing it personally.
Does Vic sneak in down the line?
I personally don't. I don't put him in.
I wouldn't, but like, I'm just saying, 20 years or something, we look back, impact.
Well, and the problem for him is he's always going to have the stain of the dog situation. And people, even though he went to prison for it, even though he's paid back millions for it, people don't forget it because it's an animal. That's the nature of it. So his one potential, like, get out of jail free card is you'd have to die early, have something tragic happen to you, then you get in. But for him, that's wiped out because he already has the dog situation. Just, that's how it goes.
Well, we were talking before, seeing the Hall of Fame class right now, it just felt weak. That's what I'm saying. If Leroy Butler got in with 4 Pro Bowls, and this is why I talk about Hines, he's got 4 Pro Bowls, but he's got the Super Bowl MVP. He's got the playoff performances too.
Like I said, Leroy getting in now, that changes a lot. If Leroy Butler is in, why isn't Hines in?
I wonder if like Vic, 20 years down the line.
But this is my issue. Like, seeing Leroy get in, and it's not a knock on Leroy, but it's like that felt more NBA Hall of Fame than Pro Football Hall of Fame. Pro Football, a Leroy Butler doesn't get in. A Leroy Butler gets in the NBA Hall of Fame, but we talk about Hall of Fames. Yeah, NFL, Pro Football sell to a higher standard. It sell to a higher regard. So that's for me why, even though I love Vic the homie, it's like I don't put him in that category because I think that you need to be elite. And that's why when we're talking about even Eli, Hall of Famer or not, that's why I'm like, well, if Eli is in your eyes surefire or definitely that guy, I'm like, well, now we got to open that conversation up to a Matthew Stafford, or a Matt Ryan and things like that, because now I'm like, this is getting a little, it's a little gray areas with this.
So for those quarterbacks, you're saying, because Ben is above Eli. So you have like
Ben is above
Rodgers,
those dudes,
Breeze, Brady.
They're in their own class.
Peyton,
Yeah, they're in their own class. Now when you start talking about Eli Manning, Phillip Rivers, like that's,
I see how you say it opens up the conversation a little bit. But I think Eli should get in. Now, does that mean Rivers gets in? I'd be fine with Rivers getting in. I don't know.
If Rivers,
I think it's Eli,
then Rivers, then it has to be Matt Ryan. I feel like all 3 of those guys are connected to it. If one of those guys go, all 3 got to go, bro.
What'd I say? Eli, Stafford,
and Ryan.
I don't care about the next 3 or next 2. Ryan, Rivers. I'd probably lean Rivers at 3. I probably would.
Okay.
Rivers at 3, and then Matt Ryan 4. Cam might have a case. Maybe a case over Matty Ice.
Hey, man.
I gotta look into it more, but
well, no, I mean, I just look at it like this. So you pick and choose that when you want to put more weight on regular season versus more weight on postseason, just based on the names you give out.
I think that's
so.
My
Which
line,
one is
though.
it? Is it postseason or is it regular season? Because if you're hollering Vic, it's regular season.
No, I'm just that was more of a curiosity thing.
Okay,
do you think he's gonna get buzzed down the line? Because I'm with you. I don't think,
because I'm like,
he's
that's
Hall of
all
Fame
regular
right
season. Yeah.
No, if he would have had a Super Bowl run or something, for sure.
Okay.
I think my line's Eli right now, and then Stafford's like on the cusp because he won. He's just got to keep up the stats in the regular season, maybe have another nice little postseason performance. I don't know about. I mean, wow, that's tough because if you get Rivers in, then Matt Ryan does have the case too.
Yeah. But I feel like all 3 of those dudes, though, I feel like all 3 of those dudes are right in that same, for what we would highlight for Eli. When we talk about the other part, it's like, we ain't talking about Eli in that same fashion. So it's like, if Eli's getting in, you're telling everybody all that matters is postseason. That's essentially, if Eli gets in and no Matt Ryan, no Phillip Rivers, you put all the onus on postseason. I just think you open up a whole nother box. That's all.
Postseason success, at least.
I'm just saying you open up a whole
nother box. Because that's something Eli's got that they don't.
But you're talking about Hall of Fame careers, not just a 1 or 2 postseason run. Like, you played how long? You only got 2 postseason runs. Like, I don't put those 2 runs over this long career that this other guy had that was dominant at times in comparison to that guy. That's all.
See, I think Eli's regular season's good enough, though. Like, whenever you would go regular season by regular season, I think they were in the same class. Like if you just went like
But
game
if
by
we're talking
game,
close versus who is better, you just read the numbers off.
I don't think
It's
it's
still
by
a 2,000
much, though.
yard difference passing wise. It's still a what 10 plus touchdown difference, and he's played less games. And accolades, regular season MVPs. You talk about the Pro Bowls, the All Pros. It's like that's not close to me.
I think it's
That's
close
not
enough
close.
to where no, I think it's close enough to where the ultimate
Yeah.
question when you come down to it, who do you want? I want Eli.
Well, and that's fair. Yeah.
Because you could talk about Flacco versus those guys. No,
True.
Flacco doesn't hold a candle because
I
of
agree.
like I never thought it was close
Right.
in
But
the
he
moment.
had his postseason run though.
He
His
had his
postseason run was
postseason run.
elite. He had
now,
one.
that's
of them.
actually probably the better question.
Yeah.
Does Matt Ryan trade his career for Joe Flacco?
If you're mad, why would you? I'm like
Super Bowl. It's something though.
you asking the wrong guy. I already told you how I
I
felt
know,
about
I know.
it. Yeah. So I'm like, yo, y'all can put all that up there. I'm cool on that, man. Whew.
Stafford's close. I mean, he's close right now. He's got to keep it up.
Yeah.
I would maybe lean him being in right now. Maybe just because of the heat of the moment. Maybe.
Fair enough. I could dig
But
that.
yeah, he's got the accolades so far regular season.
Yeah.
It's just weird he doesn't have more Pro Bowls, but we went and
Yeah.
dug a little deeper on that. It should probably be around 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And that's not the like end all be all.
Without a doubt. All right. I'll get ready for this next topic because I think we were done with that, right? I mean,
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Super Bowl.
it was, yeah, because we want to
Hall of Fame.
recap this fight too. But before we get there, let's see if we got any supers as well before we
I'll let
completely
you know
lay
where
this to
I'm at David
rest.
Dupree, D.D. Smalls.
Oh, shout out to the homie then. All right, I got 2 in front of you. That's it.
Okay.
All right, first up is from. Actually, I'm gonna drink my fruit punch Gatorade over here. It matches my shirt, you know.
Go for
For
it.
us lovers in the building.
Go for
You
it.
want to cheers since we're lover?
I'm
You know?
good. I'm good.
The lovers in the building.
Okay.
Certified lover boys, man. Not like we're lovers together, like us, but like, you know, we love people.
Love society.
Yeah, we're lovers. That's like we love life. That's what. Get your mind out the gutter. Come on, Deke. Just because it's St. Valentine's,
My water
Massacre
bottle's
Day
out of
or
water.
Valentine's, you would drink out the same bottle. I know it's
I'm
COVID
good.
going on. Do it old school. Just hold your mouth up and I'll pour it in like Chris Bosh. That worked. All right. I almost spit my water out right there. I said my water, my Gatorade. Excuse me. All right. And Bart Basquiat also says cheers. Accept the bromance. I'm with it, bro. Accept the bromance, man. You just gotta lean into this thing. Deke, lean into it. All right. So it's from Josh Blanchett right here. He says, "What's up, Moats and Deke? What was happening?" Says, "Tuning in from Myrtle Beach. Steelers are plus 6,000 to win the Super Bowl next year, or to win it all next year. Excuse me." Says hashtag Big Deke investment
Yeah.
with the winking
Yeah,
face.
it might be time to put a little 20
Yeah.
on that right now.
Get him ahead of the curve. You know?
Yeah, because odds might shift a lot depending on what we do in free agency.
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Then after that, we got Black Amar just showing some love. Big time salute to you. We appreciate you, player. And then after that, man, I think it's on you with David Dupree.
He said, just checking in. Get those likes up, everyone.
Big facts, man. We sitting at 178 on the likes, man. You got to get them up, man. Not just for David, not just for Deke, not just for Moats, but for the algorithm, baby. This how y'all reward yourselves and let the people know, like, yo, we rock with the show. This is our thing, and we're going to make sure that everybody knows this is us here. So hit that like button, baby. Yes, indeed.
They're Brobarian. There are
Uh-oh.
QBs who do well within the system, as well as QBs who do well within the system, even if it breaks down any draft QB. What's going on? Any draft QBs can do this, or free agent QB. Oh, he's asking a question.
Yeah.
Like,
Well-
no matter what system we got, can a quarterback just come in
Yeah.
here and have success? Which guy could it be?
So when we talk free agent quarterbacks, we'll just include guys that we were talking potentially trading for as well, because in terms of just the regular free agent market at quarterback, Mariota, but I'm not putting him necessarily like in that case of, oh, if the play breaks down, we're confident that he's going to do it like that. But like you said, if you're including Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson types, Kyler Murray types, then yeah, those caliber guys, I do think they can. But if we're talking that next tier down, like Jameis Winston, I don't know. I think he could still have success, but I don't know if it's to the level that if everything is flawed and it's the sabotage, like my man Deke likes to say
What
about
happened last year?
Canada, can
We still were able
Jameis-
to make the playoffs through
could,
it all.
could like Jameis overcome that? I'm still on the fence with that. Derek Carr. I lean a little more because the mental makeup what he had to endure this season. I feel a little more confident in that, but outside of the dudes that we're talking about trading for, I don't feel that strong about any of the other guys, even the draft pick guys. Kenny Pickett, Malik Willis, like, Kenny, I think, like I said, comes in and he's probably the most pro-ready day one, but I still think he needs pieces around him. I think he needs a good situation. Malik Willis, another guy, he needs a good situation. So, yeah, I honestly, I don't feel like those guys can overcome broken systems and, guys maybe underperforming and stuff like that around them.
The Matthew 415 says, Moats, you acting like Eli's a bum. He's overhated.
I don't think Eli's a bum. No, in fact, I respect the heck out of Eli's career. I just think that he's overhyped at times. I think that if Eli's last name was, like I said, something different, maybe if it was Cousins, I don't think y'all are talking about Eli like that. I personally do not think that, man. And like I said, Eli was, he's obviously ahead of my time, but I was still here doing some of the heart of his, stuff when he won the Super Bowl. I was in the league for that. Played against him multiple times. I think of when we would prepare for him, I think of film session, watching tape on him, and then even in the games, the feeling. It never felt like how I felt when we matched up against Ben. Never felt like how I felt when I matched up against Brady. Never felt like how I felt when I matched up against Rodgers, Peyton Manning.
Ooh.
None of them dudes. It never, even Matt Ryan, it never felt like that. In fact, what we would say when we were playing Eli, just catch the ball, hit you in the face with it. And every single time we played him, you know what happened, Deke? Just catch the ball, hit you in the face. That's what he would do. So for me, like I said, I don't think that it was a terrible crowd. Like I said, he's Hall of Fame consideration. I'm even cool if you put him in. All I'm saying is you're not going to tell me Eli gets in and these other guys that I was naming don't get in, because to me, I don't put that same level of regard just on them 2 postseasons versus a guy doing it for 10 plus years regular season wise. Like, that's just kind of how I feel about it.
King Stacks brings something up. He's coming after me here.
Oh, no.
Says, Deke, Dan Marino never won a Super Bowl, and you're talking about Matt Ryan.
He never won one. And some people think of him as like arguably the greatest quarterback ever. We talk about the season that he was having when he was playing. It's like, bro, them numbers you was putting up back then look like they supposed to be in this time frame. Yeah. That's crazy.
That's the thing with him. Whenever you historically look back, you ask people that were around.
Yeah.
They all thought he was like the best.
Yeah.
We never felt that way with Matt Ryan.
I agree.
That's the difference. Yeah. Now, you would like to see Dan Marino have a Super Bowl. Sometimes it doesn't play out that way.
But I do feel like Ryan was always in the conversation, though, as a top 5 quarterback. And he led a team to a Super Bowl. Like, I can't, just because you lost the Super, like, I don't fault him as a whole in terms of, he lost the Super Bowl. It's like, bro, he still made it. So if you make it on top of everything else that you already have as well, it's like, bro, that's still a Hall of Fame career in my eyes.
Yeah,
like,
I get what you're saying.
Talk about Matt Ryan, like he never even made it to the Super Bowl. It's like, bro, he had it. He just lost to arguably the greatest quarterback of all time in terms of Tom Brady.
I feel like we need to see more from him in other postseasons, though.
But you only saw what from Eli in postseasons. We highlight 2 postseason runs.
That's what I said, though.
So that's one more.
It means something to close.
No, it's literally just one more. It's one more postseason run, right? That's what you're talking about.
It doesn't matter. You just got to win. Like that's my thing. Like, it means something to close. You know what I mean?
I get it.
It's hard.
I get it. I just don't put that. I don't put postseason solely bigger than all the other stuff. That's all. But like I said, it's a difference of opinion.
Yeah. Now, we could probably look back on Ryan's numbers. Maybe they're good. I don't know what they are postseason-wise. I don't think there's anything else memorable about him in the postseason.
Fair enough.
I think that's my problem.
Fair enough.
The only thing we know is, the Super Bowl run, they should have won, didn't win. You're right, not all his fault. Some other stuff happened, fumbles, and
but I'm
can you
with
blame
though.
the coordinator?
Like, it will always hinder Matt Ryan's career when you're talking about his legacy all the time. I'm with you on that. All I'm saying is I just feel like his career as a whole is still a
really good career.
And the only reason I don't put it over, the only reason me personally I wouldn't, it's like I always have that dilemma of with Eli, he's different because he actually has that second ring and he has the MVPs to go with it. If he didn't have the MVPs and the ring, if it was just rings, no MVPs, now I'm kind of like, if you're Matt Ryan, would you want Eli's career? Or if Eli, would you want Matt Ryan's career? But I feel like when you throw the 2 Super Bowl MVPs on top of the winning, that is very significant. But once again, I just have to ask myself, do I weigh those 2 seasons, just the postseason runs on top of that? Do I view that more than anything else that these other guys did when they clearly outperformed him? And in some cases, it wasn't even close. that's my thing. It's like, man, we're highlighting a tournament. It's kind of like when you think about NCAA, right? You got the best team during the regular season. They can go undefeated, 25-0, 30-0, whatever. But then you get this Cinderella team that happened to have 2 crazy years where they went and won March Madness, so they went to the Final Four. And it's like, oh, yeah, I love that team way better. And you're like, bro, but man, that's tournament. That, like, you get hot. I get it, and it worked out, and it's great. But, bro, you're not going to tell me you didn't want this team and this team wasn't far and away better and more consistent year in and year out. But because this team had one run this year and then a couple years later had another run in the postseason, we're like, oh, that's the all-time great team right there. That school right there, oh, that's the basketball school, right? It's like, that's just kind of how I feel about it when I'm thinking of Eli and I'm rating his postseason in such high standard versus his regular season. But, yeah.
I kind of get what you're saying about that. You know, people probably still view that 2007 Patriots team really highly. Like, you can even look back with us, recent memory, us missing the postseason, that 9-6-1 year versus us this year. I'd take that 9-6-1 team 10 times out of 10 over this team. But this team made the postseason due to outside factors. That 9-6-1 team, I still believe, could have won the Super Bowl that year.
I agree. That team was nice, man.
Still believe
that team was nice, bro.
Boswell field goals and all that other nonsense.
That was I was sad a little bit that year. Because I was only sad because I had to be away from my guys.
You weren't here, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, man, I didn't want to play anymore, but it's like, can I at least be with my guys? Like, y'all my guys. Yeah, I felt guilty. I was on the group text like, bro, I can't be texting y'all good luck and ball out and all this stuff, and I'm over here in this red. Like, this feels awkward.
You want to get this UFC then?
Yeah, I think we are good. I would say, yeah, we're good there. But actually, before we get to the UFC, I almost forgot, man.
What's that?
We're supposed to pay a bill today.
Okay.
Can we pay a bill real quick? Is that cool with you?
Go for it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, here we go. So we know the big game was this weekend, and it was a lot of fun to watch. And there's a lot of celebrating going on afterwards. And today is the lovers' holiday, Valentine's Day. We know that. But with that being the case, you got to make sure you're prepared for the occasion, whether you're scoring or whether you're delivering some good old-fashioned love. But whatever you're doing and however you like to do it, the biggest thing you need to do is be groomed the correct way. And the best way to do that is with Manscaped, the leaders in below the waistline grooming, because we know if you're going out there on these big days, these special occasions, trying to get a little action, and you're not up to par, you know, it's JV. That's not varsity. It's not going to be working. You're going to get denied. You don't want that. But you know what'll get you the opposite of rejection? What'll get you access? What'll get you that smile that you're looking for?
What's that?
The Ultra Premium Collection. You know, we talked about it last time, right?
Yeah.
I started to go back in depth and bring all the props back out. You know what I mean? But it was like, no, we ain't going to do that today. But this Ultra Premium Collection, the deodorant, the body wash, the 2-in-1 shampoo, conditioner. Can't forget about, you know, that lip balm as well. With that, man, that'll always get you scoring the way you need to score. That'll always have your Valentine's Day feeling great and ultimately just make you, you know, life a lot easier and better, baby, because everybody loves a Manscaped person. So with that being said, we don't talk about you unless we got action for you. And that action is in the way of a promo code. Moats. That's it. Get you 20% off and your free shipping worldwide, baby. Just like that. So stop wasting time. Don't have your Deke looking crazy out here. Make sure you take care of Deke, all right? Manscaped, shout out.
We got Donald Copeland saying Stafford's been carried by top receiver talent. Come on.
Every quarterback needs a top receiver. Come on, man. Y'all got to stop this, man. That's the case. What we getting on Brady for having Randy Moss that 1 year? Are we getting on Brady having weapons he had down in Tampa these past 2 seasons? We're going to knock Ben for having an AB type. Like, hey, they go hand in hand. They go hand in hand, man.
Well, definitely not yesterday. I mean, Odell Beckham went down. You know, he doesn't have Robert Woods out there. Higbee's not out there. Though. No, I know, but that was literally it. That's not like this elite receiving core by any stretch.
But Coop right now, even I still probably don't put him all the way there just because I witnessed it firsthand. Coop being out there is kind of like how we viewed AB. If you got AB out there, you got a chance. You know what I mean? Like, I never felt like when we went into a game, oh, we just got AB and nobody else. It was like, bro, if AB's here, we don't care who else is out there. We're fine. Green Bay is another example. Devontae Adams. Devontae out there, they don't care who else is available. They got Devontae. You talk about DeAndre Hopkins when he was with the Texans. You think about Michael Thomas with the Saints. It's like certain receivers, man, you don't care who their Robin is. If that guy's available, man, that's the guy because he's just such a dominant player.
Here's my rebuttal to the whole Cooper Kupp stuff. Now, I'm with you. He's on that level right now. But Cooper Kupp wasn't Cooper Kupp for Stafford. He's a really good receiver.
Yeah, I agree with you.
It's just not the same.
I'm not following you, though. What you mean?
He's not best single-season receiver of all time, Cooper Kupp, with Jared Goff's there. That's what it's been his first 3 or 4 years in the league.
And Matt Stafford, outside of Calvin Johnson, isn't taking a team to a Super Bowl and winning it without a Cooper Kupp.
Oh, he had the defense, though, with the Rams. He had a lot with him.
Bro,
I don't think he was carried by elite receivers, though.
Man. I mean, he's not carried either way, but we can't minimize Coop, though. That's all I'm saying. I feel you trying to minimize Coop.
Oh, no, I'm not. I don't think Stafford was carried by any stretch of the imagination.
I think they both did what they're supposed to do.
I don't think he was carried. That was a clutch-ass drive,
but
man.
think about it. There's no AB without Ben, and Ben isn't the same without AB in terms of where they went during their time frame together. It's like, man, you have to have that pairing. Like, I'm not against that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jacob Malacia says, Kupp's the truth. Donald Copeland. Look at this comparison. Kupp and OBJ is like Holt and Bruce, T.O. and Ocho Cinco.
OBJ more so in theory, like of name, and definitely in the postseason he started to pick it up. But OBJ, when he first got there, he wasn't doing it to that extent. He was improving, and then he started to heat up and start scoring touchdowns. But when I think of like T.O. and Ocho, bro, like they was frying people at times, man. Yeah. Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt, like yeah, I don't put Kupp and OBJ. And those, not yet.
It needs to be sustained.
Yeah.
It needs to be sustained. If they keep it
If
up.
it was like name recognition, sure, but not.
OBJ might not be playing until 2023.
Like, seriously, bro. This time of year,
You think it was the throw that did it in?
I don't have issue with the throw. I mean,
what I'm saying is if the throw was out a little bit more, he didn't have to come back. Maybe his knee doesn't buckle a little bit.
At the end or you could say, what is the $200,000 cleats? You ain't know his cleats were worth $200,000?
No.
Yeah, that's what they said. He had 2 pair of cleats going into the game, custom cleats from the shoe surgeon. He does like all like he does like a ton of like custom like regular shoes. They're extremely expensive. I like them a lot, but that was the thing. Like it was like this snake skin like crazy cleat. Like he had 2 pairs of them or whatever. So I'm like, man, maybe it was the cleats. I was I'll be pissed if I paid that much money and yeah. But when you look at the cleats, I'm like,
he's always got those
like
type of cleats.
Yeah.
Man. Some of them are more, looks like at least Nike official customized, right. So I don't think they'd be doing them wrong. But in this case, I don't know.
Yeah. So, or is it a soccer cleat that he's wearing and they just do so much to it to alter it? Like, those are some of the things you consider.
He's always hurt.
Yeah.
You notice LeBron's never hurt. I believe his shoes are a big part of it.
Oh, yeah. But they don't build his shoes for, like, everybody to just want to wear and play. They built them specifically for LeBron. That's why them joints is big. They heavy. It's like, bro, you're not hooping in LeBron.
I do think, like, I remember back in, it was 2010 to like 2013, 2014. Yeah. LeBron being healthy all the time.
Always.
D Rose hurt all the time. I do think it was a big part due to the shoes. Now, LeBron keeps his body healthy. He's built like a tank, but still.
Yeah. But no, the shoes, I mean, even
LeBron's shoes are like the most stable things I've ever witnessed.
Jordan, when you think about the final dance, he was talking about the shoes during that time, how like certain things they would have to do to make it just better for him. Yeah, absolutely, man. Your footwear 100%, man. It was certain cleats I didn't wear because I didn't like the mold in terms of how my foot would hit the ground, whether I'm pushing off or, trying to change directions. Certain people, it's like, man, my knee don't feel like it's supposed to go like that. I'm not wearing shoes that grip like that. Some people, they're the opposite. They want crazy grip. They want to feel like, they got big, long spikes. I'm like, I never wanted to feel like that, but everybody's different with it.
Yeah. UFC?
Yes, let's get to talking about a little UFC. Because, I was excited about this, man. I'm a big UFC guy. That's what I do.
How much time we got? We're at 6:18 right now.
We got enough time. We'll be all right.
Okay.
We ain't going to belabor it.
Well, I was going to say, should we save the last topic for the next pod?
I'm down for that, actually.
It's up to you. I'm throwing it out there. I'm good either way.
Let's save that for Wednesday.
Okay.
That'd be perfect.
So we'll finish up with the UFC.
That'd be perfect then. Because I was like, we did spend a lot of time on that Super Bowl. But it was fun, though. It's
probably my fault. I brought up Stafford Hall of Fame.
No. Listen, it can never be your fault because I engage with you.
Okay.
If you just brought it and you just kept bringing it up, and I'm like, bro, we trying to talk about it, so you like, yo, Steph. I'm like, all right, that's your fault. But I'm over here engaging with you. If I'm engaging, that means we got a little more time on the hands. You feel me? When I hit you with the, hey, yo, we ain't got time, then you'll know, all right?
Yeah.
But yeah, we do got to talk about these UFC fights, man, because y'all know I got
feel like that other
yo.
topic deserves like it
does,
a good
and I don't want us to
discussion.
rush.
Yeah,
I'm with you on that, man. But yeah, man, UFC 271. We'll start with the co-main, Derek Lewis versus Tai Tuivasa. Now, did you get a chance to tune in for the pay-per-view? I know you were out for the weekend, right?
No, I wasn't out of town. You thought I was out of town?
I thought you went to your cabin.
No, not this weekend.
Oh, okay.
No, but I did not watch it. I was working on my revenge tour, dude. And I went 8-0 in my Mutt regular season. I'm telling you, dude, this was supposed to be the Super Bowl today. You don't understand.
Oh,
all the stars were aligned. But anyway, I was playing Saturday night Mutt and then just kind of went to sleep early. So I didn't catch it. But I did watch the YouTube videos online. And actually, they say highlights. I was pretty much able to watch both full events.
Yeah, seriously.
Both full matches.
They
cut them up.
There.
Yeah, they cut them up enough to where the copyright isn't going to show. They mess with the volume.
Reason.
But I swear to God, the time, as I'm seeing the time, I'm seeing pretty much all 5 minutes.
For sure.
But anyway, it looked like, so I'll give my take, my amateur take on what's going on with the UFC here. Derek Lewis was destroying him. I thought he was destroying him in the first. Yeah. And luckily they got the break. And then came out. Derek Lewis had some nice moves again, but then Tuivasa just had the one punch and knocked him out. That was really it. I guess that was maybe Tuivasa's whole thing the whole time. He was just waiting.
Yeah. So for me, put it like this: Tai has one punch knockout ability, but it's just not talked about as much. Like, and that's why when we were talking the other day, I was like, yo, it's kind of like the perfect storm between Derek Lewis and Tai, because their styles are very similar in terms of they don't mind waiting for one punch. I thought for Tai, he was a little bit more of an active fighter than Derek Lewis, but both were really just knockout artists. Right, they're knockout artists. So watching the fight, though, I'm with you, man. Lewis definitely looked like the more like he was winning the fight, in the sense that I thought that early on Tai, I don't know if he was respecting him or just kind of filling him out, but I thought that Lewis was taking more chances. Lewis was taking him to the ground with the wrestling. He was obviously throwing more punches. He caught him a couple of times. Like, it just looked like every time Derek was about to do something, everybody would get excited. And part of me was like, man, is this more crowd or is this like the real feel for this fight, watching these two guys? But the one thing that kind of changed my mind was when Derek Lewis did finally touch Tai, and then you saw Tai get up and swing back. That to me was the difference, because most of the time, man, Derek Lewis, when he hits you, like we said, them dudes go to sleep. Even if it's like the last second of a fight, we've seen Derek wait till the last punch, getting destroyed, and it's the last punch, and it's like, how did he do that? You know what I mean? So it was like, we've seen that before. But to see Tai take them shots and then come back in that second round, and once again, Derek Lewis looked like he was about to take him down and have some more work, you know, in terms of just winning the clinch and being more physical. The fight shifted. The elbow in the clinch, I mean, heck of an attack by Tai to even throw the elbow. The landing of it was perfect. The execution was perfect. And like you said, man, you see Derek Lewis where he was like legit out cold. It looked like a tree falling over, bro. It was nuts,
it was
bro.
The one hit and he was up a little bit and slaying around, but then he came back, clocked him a few more times, and he just went down.
He just went straight down. I was like, man. And I felt it was weird. I slightly felt bad for Derek, because I'm like, man, Derek went from being I mean, obviously he has the record for most knockouts, you know, in the UFC and in the heavyweight division. And you're just like, man, he looked like he was on the cusp of winning a championship, like getting a belt. But ever since then, it's like, man, he's been kind of going down. And I'm asking myself, like, dude, past, 3 fights? 2 of them you really got worked. I mean, obviously, Tai knocked you clean out. And then Cyril Gane, 2 fights ago, worked him, beat him clean.
The one before that, didn't he win?
Yeah, Derek Lewis had to win in between those guys. So he lost the first one to Cyril Gane, won the second one, and then obviously lost this last one to Tai. So it's been kind of sandwiched, and even with the one that he won, it was still just kind of like, I mean, I get it, but the guy you're fighting is not on these guys' levels either. So that was the other thing, man. But Tai, honestly, man, Tai, I do feel like he's going to be that next name that people are going to talk about. He jokingly said it, I think, afterwards in post-fight stuff, saying that, you know, he felt like it was a passing of the torch between those caliber guys, Derek Lewis versus Ty, because Ty is I think like 10 years younger than him anywho. But to me, man, I just like Ty's. Like I like he's game. He's down to fight whoever, man.
What do you think it is most? Because we didn't get to see too much from him in that first, because it felt like he was taking more of a beating. You think that was his strategy though? You think that's what he proved to you? Was just like, all right, if he has that strategy where he just takes the hits, especially for a big guy like Lewis.
Yeah, because typically,
if he could take that hits, and then in the second or third just commit to, all right, one punch, this is happening.
Put it like this, that approach, it works if he had like more output in the sense of like, I think I can tire him out, rope a dope, or have him throw a lot once I feel his power. Now I know I'm good. Problem is, you don't want to play the game of can I take Derek Lewis' punches or not, because the more you take them, you're gonna go to sleep. Even watching a guy like Francis versus Stipe Miocic, right? Initially, Francis didn't knock him out with the first shot, but when he hit him 2 more times, what happened? The lights went out, right? So when I think of the whole Derek Lewis thing, it's like, if that is the approach from Ty, I don't like it. But I think early on, it wasn't that Ty was trying to fill him out or feel the power and make him get tired. I think, honestly...
Or even he was trying to, like, conserve himself.
For me, I think it was a little bit of him trying to stay calm, because that was the biggest fight of Ty's career. Like, Ty, he hasn't had that level fight on that stage, pay-per-view, that's not Ty. Like, two fights ago for Ty, he was fighting Greg Hardy on I think it was like the opening fight on a pay-per-view card. You know what I mean?
I watched that one, yeah.
It's different, you know what I mean? So now we're talking co-main event on an Adesanya, you know what I mean? Israel Adesanya and Rob, like, that's big, you know what I mean? Yeah. That's like being on a Conor McGregor card. Like, yeah, that's special. So I do think part of that was, him trying to just not overdo it, not have that adrenaline dump, not come out here and be so hyped up that you blow your load in the first 30 seconds to a minute of this fight. And now you're in trouble because you're tired. And now when you're tired, that chin don't hit the same. That chin don't, you're not as tough that way. So I looked at it kind of like that. But like I said, man, it was a big statement, though, for Ty. Big time statement, man.
Where's he going next? He's just trying to climb up the ladder, then?
No, bro. For me,
is he for the belt then?
John Jones, Stipe Miocic, I want one of them too. I don't think he gets to fight Francis, because if you're Francis, you're waiting on John Jones.
So this
Stipe
is all the
Miocic.
Same class?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Oh, he gets smoked by Francis.
You see? But think about this, though, right? 2 years ago, Francis and Derek Lewis were in the exact same conversation.
Really?
In terms of,
I don't know all the history.
Yeah, because like
I just
Francis,
can't imagine that dude beating Francis.
This is why. But this is why Francis is so intriguing now. The 2 fights that you've seen from Francis, he's evolved. He's wrestling. He's showing patience. Before that, he fought just like Derek Lewis. I'm a one-punch knockout artist. That was it. He couldn't wrestle. He didn't have a lot of takedown defense. It was like he lost fights by getting taken down and just couldn't get up. Like Steve beat him the first time, he just took him down. He was like, he just can't get up. Then he got tired, and you're like, that guy sucks.
No, because he did that wrestling pretty good against Gone.
But that's Francis evolving. These past 2 fights, he's really evolved. That's what makes him really intriguing, even for John Jones now. Because prior to that, it was...
Is he even fighting though anymore?
Well, no. John is ready to fight, but he wants to fight. He's saying he was looking at Stipe Miocic. Because at first it was the contract situation. He was going to fight Francis, but everybody knows now the UFC, Dana White, he's not really paying the guys like that. So that's the biggest reason why even with Francis...
he might out leave, right now.
Yeah, because he's like, they don't pay enough. Like, he got paid, I think it was $500,000 for the main event to win the belt. And it's like, you get pay-per-view money, sure, but it's like, when you look at these other, combat sports, I'm like, bro...
Or even just YouTube.
Yeah, it's like, bro, you know how much money dudes is making? And they taking half the risk. Like, you getting lights shut out. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you want to get compensated to that. So that was the biggest reason why John and Francis never got that fight going. Now, it could still happen, but that's kind of why Francis is even talking about going to the boxing. I think he wants to fight Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury made $30 million his last fight. Think about this. If Tyson make 30, you make 10. That's more than he's ever made or even sniffed in the UFC.
What's the deal with that? Because from my standpoint,
it's the business model.
It feels like I was gonna say though. This is what I'm gonna ask. Like, who watches what more? Because it feels like me, right here, maybe America, maybe in my little bubble right now, UFC is more popular right now. Whereas boxing, it's kind of like 20 years in the past.
Put it like this: UFC is drastically more popular, U.S. and worldwide. The difference is
even
this.
worldwide. I was going to ask, is boxing more popular worldwide?
This
is that the difference?
This is the difference. They're all independent contractors. For boxing, though, I forgot. Oh, this is the thing. So with boxing, is promotions. So if you're signed to PBC, I think it's Premier Boxing Club versus Showtime versus Mayweather or Golden Boy, right? Oscar De La Hoya's name. Those promoters are, I forgot how they said it, but it's something along with those promoters in terms of if I'm working with this particular show, this particular channel, I can just negotiate contract wise with them and solely them, and it's cool. But each fighting each group has different pays and stuff, like how you can negotiate it, so you can get a lot more money out of those guys that way.
And it goes fight by
right.
fight.
Whereas UFC, you have contracts, but it's all through Dana White, and it's all under the UFC umbrella. So for him, he's like, our business model is we're gonna pay you this, and if you become a champion, you'll get X on pay-per-view points. But because there hasn't been another league or corporation that anybody can go to, there's no competition, so it's more monopoly. So if you're fighting on PBC as a boxer and they only want to pay you 100,000, but Showtime would pay you 10 mil, what's your market? 10 mil. So if you're PBC, what do you got to do now? Raise the price. Right now, UFC, they're competing with who? One championships. You're competing with I'm trying to blame. Bellator. Like, these are cool, alternatives, but they nowhere near UFC. It's kind of like, would you want to be in the NFL or the CFL? So if you're in the NFL, they dictate your pay, right? They dictate what the market's going to be because they have it monopolized.
So that's why you're hearing a bunch of stuff about Jake Paul going after Dana White. Like, if he thinks he could start a more competitive thing.
Right, but the problem is, for you to do that, you have to actually get that talent, right? So, because Khabib Nurmagomedov, he's another guy. He started up a league, but the problem is this. If your biggest name fighter isn't that type of draw and you're paying him that type of money, your business is going to go belly up. So for the UFC, they have all the best fighters. They have the biggest personalities. They have all of that locked. So you have to try to leave that and then still build your brand to that level where it's going to pay that type of money.
McGregor's the example to do it.
Right, but McGregor only did it because he left to go to box. He's not fighting MMA in any other
that's true,
other organization. He made his money boxing, and then he did the beer the wine deal or the whiskey, the proper 12. Right. That's why he got his payday. Other than that, he won't go make no money like that, but that was how he flipped it. And that's what Ngannou was going to try to do as well.
Right.
Yeah, but that's that whole scenario, man. So that's the biggest reason why that pay discrepancy is like that.
Is there any way they could change it? Outside just pay the boxers more, but that doesn't necessarily solve everything.
Yeah, because for your boxers,
or not the boxers. The fighters.
The biggest thing for the UFC, if they did a union, if the players, the fighters created a union, that could work. But with unions, guys got to want to buy in. Guys got to want to pay the dues and stuff like that. And unions make sense to some fighters, but not all fighters. Some fighters, independent contractors, they would rather stay that way so they can bounce around from different corporations and never have to feel locked in to one particular place. Whereas when you join that union, you're kind of locked into only fighting here, only with this group. You can't leave and go do any one-offs. So that's the pros and cons with that.
Yeah, because I think if you're Ngannou or any of those dudes, once you hit a certain level, you feel capped out. So maybe that's what UFC's got to do.
Because think about Francis. Like, Francis then fought for the belt twice. He's won it. He's defended it. And it's like, man, you're getting $500,000.
Yeah, you got to build something more for those guys as they build.
But then the UFC as itself is flirting as $1 billion company. Like, when you think about that, it's like, that discrepancy can't be like that.
The dudes that start proving it, they're the biggest draws and stuff. There's got to be a way you could compensate them better.
But that's why John Jones has been pissed for a while. Like, a lot of those high-end fighters, they get mad because of that. Conor, he's the exception because he did the boxing thing. If he never leaves to go box, man, he would be another guy that's in line that's pissed off about the money because they don't pay them dues like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and then they took the sponsorship ability away when they signed the deal with ESPN. So and Reebok. So initially, you remember you see the John Jones highlights where he's got like Nike, Gatorade logos on his shorts. Those guys would get paid individually like that. So even though the UFC didn't pay him a ton, they made crazy money with sponsorships. Now you can't even get that.
Well, they should go back to that probably.
Right. But they don't have to because they already have this new model where, hey, Reebok exclusively is they exclusively, put our apparel out there. So you guys are never going to have to worry about anything else. So
it's good for the low level guys.
Exactly. So as a whole, it's good. But if you're one of these top tier guys, you're like, bro, I'm missing out on millions. So that's the pros and the cons with it. But when you're dealing with a brand like UFC or just in MMA, think of it like you said, just a ton of independent contractors. Some guys are going to have it. Some guys are going to have a great team, money and all this. Other people, they're like, bro, I work 7 days a week. I fight in the off time. You know what I mean? And then I go here, I might get lucky and knock somebody out, and I'm gonna go fight again. But I still gotta pay all my trainers. I gotta pay for the treatment. I gotta pay for the travel. Like that's some of the stuff they gotta deal with. So it's a lot with that though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to talk about the last fight?
I do, bro. I do, because that was the one too, man. Now, what was your thoughts on it initially, man?
Huh?
I don't personally feel like it was controversy.
So here's what I was thinking. I talked to a couple people about it yesterday as I'm watching the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, I heard it was kind of boring, and if anything, Adesanya was winning pretty early, and then it didn't really feel like he did too much to really try to knock him out. He knew he had the thing won. And then I watched it today. Dude, I feel like it was actually kind of close.
Okay.
Like, Whitaker had some shots on him. Now, Adesanya, he did what you were talking about. He almost did, like, the Spider-Man stuff, Matrix
time, right?
stuff.
It's nuts, bro.
I mean, Whitaker's coming in hot with some of his moves and barely missing. I'm like, if he connects on these, holy crap. But Adesanya's just smooth with it. He's just like...
You sound exactly
it's like slow
me,
motion,
bro.
Matrix.
Now you see
the
why
Spidey senses.
You see why I felt like how I felt when we was talking. I was like, bro, I don't know if that was luck or if he's just that nice. Now I'm kind of leaning towards, maybe he's just that nice, because this is 2 fights now, 10 rounds total, or not 10 rounds total, because the first one went 2 rounds, but 7 rounds total now, and he just has never caught this guy,
Yeah. So I felt like it was even. Adesanya had him pretty good in the first. Whitaker had some takedowns though, and he was like on his back. So he had more. I don't want to say they were wow moments, but moments where I guess the takedowns count for something, or they were at least attempted. Some of them weren't pretty, like they weren't complete takedowns.
So the big dilemma with that is this: do you reward the takedown, or do you reward the guy?
It just looked like he was doing more activity, right?
Because to me, I looked at it in the reverse. I said, I like Whitaker taking him down, but he never did anything. He never hit him when he was on the ground. He never even held him on the ground. It was like, you're down, take a breath. Now he's right back up. And then even though Whitaker, you could say, was more active, Izzy outlanded him in terms of strikes.
Yeah.
Significant strikes and regular strikes. But then also, who was in the center of the octagon the whole time? It was Izzy. Izzy was the one having to cut him off, because Whitaker would do what? He would be trying to run side to side. And it's like, you see Izzy taking the angles to cut him off. But to me, I still like, who's controlling the center of the octagon, because the guy in the center is letting me know he's ready for fighting. Whereas the guy on the outside running around, he's not trying to fight like that right there. And I also thought that, man, even though the fight, it wasn't a wow fight for just like a casual person, right? But for me, I liked it in the sense of just watching how Izzy was just able to use his technique, his defense at times, even offense to be defense. Like, man, okay, Whitaker's about to start. He's about to start one of those bursts. You see Izzy touch him up a couple times. You see Izzy kick him a couple times. You're like, he just could effectively minimize or stop some of those bursts from even happening, or he does that to give him time to get out of space. And then even though Whitaker's throwing a lot and doing these kicks, it's like you said, he's not hitting anything. So are we going to, reward attempts, or are we going to reward the guy that's actually getting about the way? And that was kind of how I felt with that. But I just thought as a whole that I would have liked to have seen, even though Whitaker was being aggressive at times, I thought that he still was too calculated. I thought that he was still too
I'm with
reserved.
you, yeah, because there was a lot of times where they're just standing around the middle.
Yep. But part of that, I do think, because he was a little bit more aggressive the first fight and he got knocked out. And that was the part where you saw how Izzy knocked him down in the first round. I think when that happened, it kind of made him think like, all right, I got to be a little more calculated. And even though Izzy said his hand was fine, did you see where, my man, he kept doing this, holding his hand. I'm like, bro, is your hand hurt? Like, what's going on? And he would never throw it, but then he said he was fine. I wasn't a fan of that. I wanted to see him throw that more, because I thought his, in terms of that first round, you saw how Izzy was throwing them punches and tagging him up where he wanted to. It's like,
yeah, it wasn't really the same.
Yeah, he stopped punching after that.
It definitely wasn't. Yeah, it was a weird one for me. But even though I said I think it was closer than what I thought it was going to be going, I still think you give it to Adesanya, because you're right. I think he looked cleaner. Your best way, you put it the best way, more active. Yeah. Whitaker looked more active. But does that necessarily mean that he wins? Nah, I don't think that, because Adesanya made him miss a lot too. Yeah, because I'm just not I always think of that. It always reminds me of one of the old, it was a Mayweather fight. I think he was fighting Marcus But it's not
Maidana.
it never felt like Adesanya did anything that was that aggressive though too, outside of the first round. But I would always think of, the reason I say I always think of with Mayweather, especially later in his career, they were like, oh, should this guy have won because he was more active?
But you're like, how many times did he actually hit Mayweather? And you're like, he didn't hit him at all. You know, just because the guy throws a ton of punches, if he's not connecting, he's not connecting. He's just wasting energy. Like, that's kind of just how I feel anytime we're talking about activity versus productivity versus actually like landing these shots. Yeah, if he was landing more, I think that's different. But yeah, with him not landing, man, I was cool on that. And Izzy, man, Izzy just showed that he could do some of everything. Whether you're talking, like I said, the kicks, whether you're talking showing that he could get up from takedowns, whether you're talking counterpunching, whether you're talking leading the dance, like he could kind of do pretty much anything that he wanted. And we saw a little bit of all that in this fight right here, man. Izzy is tough, dude. He's going to be a tough beat at 185, bro.
Yeah. Whenever you were talking about him being in control, I agree with you on that. He looked like he was completely in control. Yeah. It's just weird. Maybe it was the hand. It's just weird how like it goes from the first round.
Yeah, he just stopped punching
to the last like 3 or 4. It's just like it
wasn't
the same.
And a lot of kicks.
Yeah, no, you're right.
And it's like you can point a guy to death, sure, but like I said, it just isn't the prettiest optically. But as a whole, I thought that Izzy had definitely had that taken care of.
So he's the guy. Yeah, going forward.
Well, he's been the guy at 85 for a while now. Like I said, his only loss was when he bumped up to 215.
What I mean is, like, you don't really think there's anyone next in competition?
The guy he's going to be fighting next, he wants to fight in June, actually. But he was the third fight on the main card. A guy named Jared Cannonier. He was fighting the guy, Derek Brunson. The guy was like Blonde Brunson or whatever. He's the guy that's going to fight Izzy next. Both of those guys were fighting for that essentially number 1 contender spot. And I'm not going to lie, watching Cannonier, I'm like, is he good? Sure, but I don't think he touches Izzy. He almost got beat in that fight himself. Like, he got hit early, dropped, was about to get choked out, saved by the bell, comes back next round, catches him with an elbow, and that fight changed. Part of it, I'm like, man, was the guy tired, though, because he looked like he had one of those adrenaline dumps where you're just so gassed, so hyped, you're trying to get this finish, you run out of time. He just came back looking really lethargic, and then that's how Cannonier was able to go ahead and win. I don't personally think either one of them dudes is beating Izzy. In fact, I know the one guy, the guy that Cannonier was fighting in that fight, he already got beat by Izzy. Izzy knocked him out, and I think it was the first round. So once again, I'm just like, Izzy ain't got no real competition at 185.
At his class, it's if he goes up, that's where the bigger storylines are.
But going up for him, the issue is the size advantage. He doesn't have that anymore. Because those guys, like Izzy is coming down from 200 plus pounds to fight these guys at 185, right? Whereas when he's fighting at 205, them dudes is coming from like 230, 240 coming down. Like, so that's the give and take with it. And that's why he struggled to get up from the takedown.
He only did that one time against the dude he lost to.
That was it. But that was the first time we saw him struggle to get up. Because typically it looks like what it looked like versus Whitaker, where it's like he just pop it whenever he wants to.
Is he going to try to?
I don't know. Because Blachowicz got beat. Blachowicz got beat by Glover Teixeira, and Teixeira is going to be fighting. I forgot who he's fighting next. So I could see a case where maybe he tries to, pick the winner of that. I don't like it for him, though, because when you talk about Glover Teixeira, you talk about Jan Blachowicz, all these dudes are bigger, all these dudes are stronger, and they're going to be able to keep him on the ground. And if he's on the ground, I don't know if Izzy's game has evolved there just yet, because he really hasn't had to.
No.
But you get one of those fights versus one of those guys, and it hasn't evolved, it's going to look like what it looked like last time he fought up there. Oh, boring. Dang, this sucks.
Yeah, like McGregor versus Khabib.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was terrible.
Yeah, just help him down the whole time. It's like, I get it because it's just as dominant, but it's a different style of dominance. Like, we applaud a guy punching a guy in the face 50 times, but we won't applaud a guy just physically being able to say, you know what, you're not going to get up. Like, imagine if a grown man was holding you on the ground for 25 minutes in an octagon, punching you, talking to you, and you're just like, bro, I just can't get up. Like, that's demoralizing.
No,
but from an optics standpoint, like, people watching it, they're like, man, that's boring. Get up, man. He's just laying there. But it's like, son, he is basically telling this grown man, like, you're going to lay here and you're not going to do anything. Just take it.
And he put McGregor
crazy.
in the chokehold.
Yeah, just take it.
What, is that all we got for UFC then?
It is, man. I'm trying to think, man. Was there anything else I had with that?
What's the next big one coming up?
Oh, shoot. 2 weeks. Yeah, you got Colby Covington versus Jorge Masvidal, Street Jesus.
What's that one for? I know who that is.
Yeah. So that's a pay-per-view as well. That'll be UFC 272 if I remember correctly. Not for a belt. Colby Covington fought for the belt versus Kamaru Usman. Got beat the second time. Jorge Masvidal obviously had fought against Usman, got beat. So these are kind of the two guys that had just recently fought Usman.
Are they trying to fight him again?
Well, it's one of those y'all gonna fight each other because clearly one had 2 fights with him. No, both guys have fought Usman twice, and both guys have been beat twice, knocked out once each time. So it's like, all right, we don't need to see that right now. Y'all can fight each other. But the interesting part is this: they used to be roommates. They used to train together. They used to be like boys, like tight. So the storyline is dope because now they legit have beef. You know what I mean? Like they fell out. It was an issue in terms of Kobe not paying the coach and stuff like that, but they were like living together. It was like legit. Then from there, like broke off. They talk greasy about each other, all type of stuff, to the point where they had to even get separated with the training. Now they can't even train in the same place. So that is what makes this fight even more interesting. But I personally feel like Kobe is gonna destroy him.
Really? What's the conversation after? Is it I want Usman a third time, or are they gonna be fighting someone else?
If you're Kobe Covington, you get a third because I think that both his fights have been very close with Usman. If that make like, even though Usman has been the clear cut winner, Kobe has given him his best fights. Masvidal, the first fight was taken on short notice. It was cool, but it was more so like, all right, I don't think Masvidal is good enough. And then Usman, as it got later in the fight, just did what he needed to do. The second time, though, he knocks him clean out. First time we saw him get knocked out like that in a while. So I'm like, man, I don't necessarily want to see Jorge again versus him, but Kobe, I could see Kobe because Kobe's wrestling is to the same extent of a Kamaru Usman. Kobe's, he can take a punch. So all of those things make it intriguing and make him, like I said, he really can push Kamaru to a level that we really don't see that often, man.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Something to look out for then.
No,
will you be able
man.
to watch it?
I'm gonna watch that thing as long as I got old Sally over here, and shout out to the black phone case, by the way. But as long as I got the phone,
gonna make you
man,
put it in a box or something.
Look, man. Look, when I go out there for them 30 days, I've already talked to the people ahead of time.
I guess
I need
we'll
a
have to
couple
do our
of
show
things.
somehow, right?
I say, look, I need a couple of things. I need my own room first off. Got to have my own room. I said number 2, I need to have good sustainable internet because I do have a live YouTube show with my partner Deke, and we like to have our thing going. They confirmed that will be the case. I said it has to be live because the people, they like to watch us live. They like to interact. I was like, I don't want us to just record. We could do that anytime. I was like, we have to be live though. They said we'll have that. So I should be able to have my phone. I should be able to watch that fight and I'll be good to go. And y'all can expect a fight recap for sure while I'm out there. Definitely gonna give you fight recaps while
you have the time.
Yeah, I'm just start calling. I'm going to rehab. That's how Smokey. Then Smokey said I'm going to rehab. Yeah, because it's not frowned upon. I'm doing this for everybody. There's this questioning. Should you put your mental health and your whole total wellness at the forefront? You know what? I'm doing it, so if I could do it, anybody could do it.
Go for it, man.
Heck yeah, man.
I think it could be a good thing, right?
We'll see. Or I'm gonna come back crazier. Either way, we're gonna make it work though.
All right. Well, I'm not seeing any more super chats.
So it looks like we are good. I like it then. All right. So let me take this down. Now that was sweet. So yeah, what we'll do is then we'll table that last topic. We'll do that on Wednesday.
They're saying Stream East. I've used that site before. It's pretty good. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, for the
I've never done it for UFC. I've done it for like hockey games.
See, for
and
me,
stuff.
I've always done what is it? Crack Stream and like,
yeah.
Ripple, I think is another one. Like I've used those, but most of the time I do like to pay. Like I said, I'm a payer. I'm a payer because I like to respect the hustle.
Need ESPN.
Yeah, but as long as it's got to be worthwhile. If it's not worthwhile, then I'm with you. I'm looking for these other sites. But if it's not, if it's not, like this Kobe one, I respect that enough. Some of these other pay-per-views they throw out there, I'm like, bro, I'm not paying that for that pay-per-view. In fact, who was I just watching the other day? I was a boxing match, bro. It was Keith Thurman versus Mario Barrios. And I'm like, bro, I'm not paying pay-per-view money to watch these two dudes scrap. Like, it's a good fight, but I'm not paying for that. That's the type of stuff, you know what I mean? So, yeah. So, I like it, though. But with that being said, man, this was a fun show. Shout out to everybody that tuned in with us, man. Been rocking with us on this journey. We're going to keep it rolling. So, enjoy the rest of your day. And until next time, baby.
Peace.